Narrator. This is a true story I witnessed with my own eyes. That year, a female friend of mine was studying for a master's degree at a university in southwest China. During a trip to Yunnan, she was tricked and sold to Myanmar. There, she was exploited to the point of physical exhaustion and contracted hepatitis from a viral infection. Her blood was drained. Before she died, she managed to send me one last message. Woman, Trịnh Lâm, I'm afraid I won't make it. You must be careful. If possible, guard against Man Hạo. Man Hạo is my boyfriend. Narrator. My best friend's name was Hứa Tình. She had been an orphan since childhood, living on government aid. During our university years, we were inseparable. When we graduated, she said she would return to her hometown to study for the civil service exam, while I chose to stay in Beijing. On the day we parted, I hugged her tight and cried my eyes out. But then half a year passed, and I could no longer contact Hứa Tình. Although I tried every way to ask around, she seemed to have evaporated from this world. I never expected that late one night, many years later, I would suddenly receive a message from a strange number. Woman, message Trịnh Lâm, do you remember Hứa Tình? I'm afraid she won't make it. You must be careful. If possible, keep an eye on Man Hạo. Man Hạo is my boyfriend. 3 days ago, he booked tickets for us to travel to Yunnan. Narrator. When I received this message, I was packing my luggage. I was both overjoyed and confused. After so many years, I finally had news of Hứa Tình. But as I read the message over and over, my heart was suddenly filled with panic. I immediately put down my luggage and turned to look at Man Hạo, who was sitting next to me playing Dota, looking extremely focused. I had known Man Hạo for 4 years. Previously, he and Hứa Tình lived in the same county, and their relationship was very good. In fact, Hứa Tình was the one who introduced me to him. Thinking it over, I felt this was too strange. I decided to call the number that just sent the message, but I only heard a notification that the number did not exist. Narrator. I immediately felt something was wrong. Why would a non-existent number be able to send me a message? I called the network operator to ask. The operator said it was a virtual phone number. The signal might be delayed, but the time the message was received definitely matched the time it was sent. I was stunned. That night, I went into my old classmates' group chat to check for news. Suddenly, I saw a message. Message, does everyone remember Hứa Tình? I heard she went missing a long time ago, but yesterday she was found at the Myanmar border. Her blood had been drained. Narrator. I felt like a deep hole had been carved right in the middle of my chest, painful to the point of sobbing aloud. I clutched my chest, slowly kneeling on the ground, holding onto the edge of the table, but unable to stand firm. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe she was dead. Just yesterday, she was laughing and talking with me, saying she would take me to visit her hometown in Yunnan. But now, how was I supposed to find her? I covered my mouth, sobbing until I choked, my whole body trembling as I prostrated on the floor, crying until I retched. Narrator. It wasn't until dawn that Man Hạo returned home. At that time, I was still crying, my voice hoarse, unable to even utter a word. Man Hạo, panic-stricken, asked me what was wrong. I choked out the whole story to him intermittently. He immediately opened the group chat to check the messages, then privately messaged the person who posted the news. But all night long, that person did not reply. 2 hours later, when Man Hạo went out to buy breakfast, that person suddenly responded. But when I tried to call, I only received a short ring before the number was blocked. When Man Hạo returned, he gently comforted me. Look, it's clearly just a rumor. If it were real, why would they be in such a hurry to block you? Don't worry too much. Wait until we get to Yunnan. I'll help you ask around for news. Woman, tell me, is it possible that she is actually dead? Narrator. Man Hạo shook his head. No. Don't think nonsense. Narrator. In the middle of the night, I had a nightmare again. In the dream, I saw Hứa Tình running for her life towards me, blood constantly gushing from her mouth. She looked at me pleading for help. Woman, Hứa Tình in dream, save me. Trịnh Lâm, save me. Narrator. I woke up with a start, cold sweat pouring down, hands trembling uncontrollably. I couldn't get back to sleep. Grabbing my phone, I opened WeChat and stared at Hua Tin's profile picture. I sent her a message. Woman, where are you? I miss you so much. Narrator. My tears couldn't be held back anymore, dropping one by one onto the screen. I covered my mouth and cried silently. I suddenly remembered the QQ number of the person who messaged me. I immediately searched on WeChat. The results showed an avatar, a drawing of Kevin Garnett's back. My heart seemed to skip a beat. Kevin Garnett, the basketball player Man Hao loved the most. Hua Tin's words echoed in my head, keep an eye on Man Hao. My whole body went cold. Without hesitation, I immediately looked for that QQ number to add as a friend. But just as I entered the old group, I discovered I had been removed from the group. Woman, why did you help me leave the QQ group? Narrator. Man Hao was not asleep yet. He replied immediately. Man, I was afraid you'd read random rumors and get sad, so I helped you leave the group. Narrator. I gripped the phone tightly, silent for a long while. Woman, do you still have that person's ID saved? I was too tired during the day and forgot to add that person. I only remember the last few digits of the QQ number. Can you send it to me? Narrator. It took 10 minutes for Man Hao to send me the QQ number. I entered the number into the search box. No results. Clearly, that QQ number belonged to Man Hao. Within just 10 minutes, he had disabled the feature to add friends via QQ on WeChat. I felt my whole body turn ice cold. By this point, I could be certain that Hua Tin's death was related to Man Hao. The sky was still pitch black. I sat there trembling, staring at Man Hao's WeChat profile picture. I knew I didn't have many choices. If I called the police now, it would likely alert him without gathering any evidence. But if I continued to go to Yunnan with Man Hao, I might find more clues. I decided to take a gamble. Woman, Hua Tin, I beg you to please hold on a little longer. Don't let anything happen to you. Narrator. I muttered that sentence all night. The sun gradually emerged. At 7 a.m., Man Hao woke up, his face full of excitement. Man, are you ready? The roads in Beijing are very congested. We should head to the airport a bit early. Narrator. I looked at the familiar face in front of me, but a deep fear rose in my heart. Living beside him for 4 years without realizing it, perhaps I was living beside a devil. I tried to squeeze out a smile. Woman, you go ahead. I'll call Mom to remind her of a few things. Narrator. I stepped out onto the balcony to call my mother. My eyes glanced behind me. Man Hao was also staring at me, his face full of wariness. Man, don't you remember? That day you got drunk, you insisted on using my iPhone to log into your ID, syncing our contacts. Afterwards, you forgot to log out, so now when your mom calls, your phone won't show the call. I was just helping you answer the phone. Narrator. I pursed my lips and didn't answer. He knew I didn't often check iPhone access permissions, so everything had been carefully calculated. I pretended to be naive in response. Woman, really? Why don't I remember anything? Narrator. Man Hao froze for a moment, then laughed it off. Man, anyway, now you remember. Let me log out of the ID for you. Narrator. He didn't refuse. While Man Hao was making lemon water, I pretended to write a fish care list for my mom, but in reality, I used a cotton swab dipped in lemon juice to write a secret message on the back of the paper. When the paper dried, the words would disappear, only becoming visible when placed near heat. As I predicted, Man Hao picked up the paper to check. Man, this paper smells like lemon, doesn't it? Narrator. I snatched the paper back, pretending to be embarrassed. Woman, because I accidentally spilled lemon water. Look carefully. This fish care list is very important. Narrator. Acting as if nothing was wrong, I shook the paper lightly in front of him and placed it back on the table. Finally, Man Hao lost interest, just smiled and said nothing more, leaving the house. When we reached the parking basement, I deliberately let him carry the luggage, then suddenly rushed straight to the security booth, speaking to the uncle security guard. Woman, uncle, my mom is forgetful. Please remind my mom that my fish likes to play games. I've played with it since I was little. Narrator. The security guard smiled and nodded. When we got to the car, Man Hao narrowed his eyes at me. Man, What did you say to the security guard? Why take so long to give instructions? Narrator. He smiled brightly, but inside I only felt cold. He was terrifyingly cautious. Everywhere and at all times, he was like a venomous snake hiding in the darkness, revealing no gaps. I glanced to the side and suddenly saw his watch left on the seat. I pretended to take photos of the scenery, but actually took a picture of the watch. After searching for the image, I discovered it was a high-end brand watch with recording and hidden camera functions. This was the exact watch Man Hao had left at my house before Hua Tin messaged. He never accidentally left anything behind. I didn't dare believe what I was thinking. Call the police now? He would definitely find out. Fear filled my heart, but I tried to stay calm, continuing to take a few more photos to hide my intentions. I told myself, don't be afraid, Trịnh Lâm. You logged out of your ID. He won't be able to check the browsing history. But no matter how well I prepared, I still made a fatal mistake. Not long after boarding the plane, I felt dizzy, my head spinning. Drowsy in a stupor, I heard his voice ringing in my ear. Man, Trịnh Lâm, did you know? That security guard is my biological uncle. Narrator. When I woke up, I heard Man Hao's voice in my ear. Man, hey Trịnh Lâm, we've arrived in Nansen town. This is Hua Tin's hometown. I just called my uncle. He said someone saw Hua Tin going towards Kokang. If you want to find her, we probably have to go there. Narrator. Kokang, an area in Myanmar, a strange and dangerous place. My heart felt heavy. Man, call Mom to report you're safe. I just video called her. Narrator. Man Hao smiled, his tone light. I pretended to calmly nod. In my line of sight, Man Hao was still holding my phone, a hint of a meaningful smile playing on his lips. I understood that from this moment, I had fallen into his trap. Now the only thing I could do was find a way to get a message out. I asked lazily, Woman, does the ticket for this trip include Nansen town? Narrator. Man Hao patted my head. Man, no, it doesn't. But if you want to find Hua Tin, I can take you. We will be reunited soon. Narrator. He smiled, but that smile became increasingly bizarre. I tried to stay calm. Woman, then give me the phone. We still have to pay for the hotel. I'll use Alipay to pay. Narrator. Man Hao refused immediately. Man, your health isn't good. You're not used to the weather here yet. I'll hold the phone for you. Narrator. He had completely cut off all my contact with the outside world. Even when we arrived at the hotel, I couldn't borrow his phone or charger. I had a very bad premonition. Could this place be a secret base? I didn't know which organization Man Hao was involved with, but if he could maneuver into high-level systems, he was certainly no ordinary person. He had been monitoring me for 4 years. Just thinking about it sent chills down my spine. In the middle of the night, I lay in bed but couldn't sleep. Fear made my breathing rapid. I prayed again. Hua Tin, I beg you, please let nothing happen. Don't let me be disappointed. I'm not afraid of danger. I'm only afraid of not being able to save you. There was a glass of water on the table. I didn't dare drink it. At 2 a.m., a strange noise came from outside. I strained my ears to listen. The door lock made a creaking sound, followed by a rough cursing voice. Man, stranger, damn it, Man Hao, why is this door so hard to open? Hurry up and give me a hand. Narrator. My whole body trembled violently. I sat up immediately, gripping the bedside lamp. If they dared to break in, I would fight them to the death. Creak, creak, click, click. The lock was twisted hard, and the door was pushed open. I saw the faces of Man Hao and another strange man. His eyes flashed with a bizarre light. My heart beat faster and faster, almost wanting to jump out of my chest. I could hardly breathe. Tears welled up. I deliberately trembled, choking out words. Woman, Man Hao, who is this? I had a nightmare again. I want to call Mom. I'm so scared. Narrator. Man Hao walked over to me, his voice gentle. Man, it's just the hotel owner. The lock was broken, so he came to fix it. The signal here is very weak, you can't make calls. You're sick, so rest. Narrator. He hugged me, gently coaxing, but I didn't believe him. My whole body was shaking. I gritted my teeth and asked, Woman, do you have my phone? I want to see mom's photo. Narrator. Man Hao shook his head. Man, I don't have it, baby, your phone is outside. Narrator. My heart sank. My eyes quickly glanced at the man standing next to him, holding an iPhone. He looked impatiently at Man Hao. Man, stranger, don't waste words. How can we take her if she hasn't drunk the water? If we don't handle this within 48 hours, her family will call the police. Narrator. I shuddered. They wanted to handle me? If there was no news after 48 hours, they would act. I couldn't wait to die. I summoned all my strength to rush towards him, snatching the phone, screaming. Woman, Siri, call the police. Narrator. The man went mad, grabbed my hair tight, and twisted my head back hard. He quickly turned off the emergency call. Smack. His leather shoe kicked me hard, knocking me to the floor. He gritted his teeth and spat. Man, stranger, you want to die, little brat? Narrator. I was in so much pain I couldn't get up. He kicked me hard in the stomach again, causing cold sweat to break out all over my body. I curled up gasping, stuttering. Woman, Siri. Siri, call the police. Narrator. Man Hao stood watching without stopping him, but when he saw I was almost unable to move, he pulled the other guy back. Man, don't kick anymore. She is merchandise. If her body value is damaged, it will affect the top-level transaction. Narrator. I felt completely cold. He wasn't pretending anymore. This was his true face. The other man looked at me coldly as if looking at an animal about to be butchered. I clenched my teeth, eyes full of hatred. Man Hao bent down, speaking slowly into my ear. Man, Trin Lam, do you still not understand? From the beginning, it was all our plan. The fake messages, the rumors in the group, everything was staged by us. Narrator. He leaned in close, whispering into my ear. Man, and you know what? You should never have trusted Hứa Tình. Narrator. I trembled, lips moving. My mind was in total chaos. Don't trust Hứa Tình? What did that mean? I tried to keep myself awake, but the other man squeezed my jaw tight, forcing me to drink the glass of water I hadn't dared to touch. Very quickly, I lost consciousness once again. When I woke up, I heard chaotic sounds ringing in my ears. I groggily opened my eyes, surrounded by tall teak trees. I was lying on the muddy ground. And then, the most terrifying scene of my life appeared before my eyes. There were 2 large grinders operating. Next to them, about 10 girls were lined up. They looked very thin, pale skin, bodies withered to the point of barely standing. 2 large men shouted continuously, urging the girls forward. I widened my eyes in shock, watching each girl stumble towards the grinder. A girl stood in front of the machine. 2 men quickly tore her clothes and threw her straight into the machine. Sizzle, sizzle. The sound of gears grinding tight rang out. I was frozen, my mind blank, throat dry, unable to make a sound. The air reeked of blood. Sprays of fresh blood splattered onto my face. I unconsciously touched my face. It was real blood. At that moment, I panicked to the point of almost going mad. I staggered up, screaming wildly. Woman, are you demons? Are you monsters? Narrator. My head felt like it was about to explode. Intense pain pierced through all my nerves. I wanted to gouge my eyes out, wanted to destroy myself because of what I had just witnessed. It couldn't be real. No. Impossible. A rough hand grabbed my hair, pressing my head down to the ground, forcing me to kneel. I coughed violently, unable to breathe. Blurred in my vision, I saw another girl being thrown into the grinder. Her legs kicked desperately in midair, then slowly disappeared from my sight. Sizzle, sizzle. The sound of gears continued to grind, fresh blood splattering, pieces of shredded flesh falling into the container beside it. I vomited violently until bile came out. I cried until I was exhausted, holding my head and frantically banging my forehead against the ground. This isn't real. Not real. Those sounds kept circling in my ears, making me panic to the point of wanting to tear myself apart. Suddenly, I saw a familiar figure. Hứa Tình. She stood at the end of the line, eyes glazed over. She was skeletal, cheeks sunken deep, wearing a long yellow dress. That was the dress I had given her before she returned to her hometown. I once told her that yellow is a vibrant color. Girls should try different colors. I also told her that her life shouldn't be gloomy forever. How happy I was finally finding her. I wanted to call her name, but my throat was dry. I could only mouth the two words Hứa Tình, but couldn't make a sound. I watched her step by step walking forward. I wanted to save her, but why couldn't I move? Why couldn't I call her name? I trembled, tears streaming down, trying to scream, but only letting out hoarse, broken sounds. I tried to reach out, tried to touch her, but my body wouldn't obey my will. I frantically clawed at the ground, making whimpering sounds stuck in my throat. Hứa Tình finally saw me. Her soulless eyes gradually lit up a little. Her cracked lips moved slightly. Woman, Hứa Tình Trịnh Lâm. Narrator. She wanted to run towards me, but the men grabbed her arms and twisted them back. I was filled with hatred, chest heaving. I didn't know where I got the strength, but I suddenly broke free from the restraint. Just as I rushed to Hứa Tình, a strong kick from behind knocked me to the ground. Thud. I hit the cold ground hard. I reached out towards Hứa Tình, tears rolling down to the corner of my mouth. One man grabbed my hair and pulled me up. Another stopped him. Man, stranger, don't hurt her. This girl has very strong observation skills and, moreover, has a master's degree in medicine. The superiors specifically designated keeping her to join the organization, helping to check the organs of these girls, and stitching them back up. Narrator, organs, stitching. I stared blankly at the remaining girls trembling in line. At this moment, the men by the grinder rushed over to tear Hứa Tình clothes, lifting her up, preparing to throw her into the machine. I lowered my head, lips trembling but unable to utter a complete word. Woman, Hua. Narrator. The hand grabbing my hair tightened. A man leaned close to my ear, his voice full of amusement. Man, stranger, this little girl is your best friend, right? As long as you agree to join our organization, we will release her immediately. Narrator. Release her? What organization? I turned my head in shock to look at the guy grabbing me. He bared his teeth in a grin. Man, stranger, city girls like you never know how cruel this world is, do you? This is a transnational organ trafficking organization. We specialize in buying and selling kidneys, livers, blood, even bones. The main targets are naive little girls like you. Narrator. He sneered, leaning close to me. His voice was utterly disgusting. Man, stranger, now you have two choices. One is to join us. Two is to be ground into minced meat with your friend. Narrator. He patted my face hard and sneered. Man, stranger, are you scared stiff? Look, that girl on the left, we gouged out her kidney. But guess what? The surgery wasn't finished. Her immune system was destroyed. She got lupus erythematosus. Then what? She's useless. Keeping the body would only let the police trace us, so we can only grind them up for dog food. Anyway, these girls are just trash, missing for a few years. No one even bothers to look for them. Narrator. I clenched my teeth trying to hold back tears. Over there, two men had grabbed Hứa Tình, forcing her head down toward the grinder. I couldn't take it anymore. I had been looking for her for so long, and is this the end? Finally, I screamed. Woman, stop. 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 Narrator. I screamed frantically, my throat so hoarse no sound came out. The men around hesitated. The two guys finally threw Hứa Tình to the ground. She curled up naked on the ground. Through my tear-filled eyes, a question flashed in my mind. Why? Why was Hứa Tình pale, but her body wasn't emaciated? In my ear, Manhao's words rang out again. Never trust Hứa Tình. My mind was in extreme chaos. Do you know that feeling? When you are determined to do something, but the truth is completely beyond your perception, something you never even imagined. That feeling of helplessness crept into every blood vessel, every cell in my body. I clenched my fists, telling myself, Trịnh Lâm, you must be calm. In this situation, death is the worst outcome. Are you afraid of death? No, I'm not afraid. I am not allowed to be afraid. Even so, when I saw the buckets containing human remains with blood spilling over, the pieces of shredded flesh, blood foam floating on the surface, I still trembled. I couldn't control the fear. The man who just slapped me held my shoulder tight, his voice cold. Man, stranger, you can harvest kidneys, cut livers, collect plasma. As long as you agree to do it, we will release your friend. How about it? Narrator, I turned to look at his disgusting face. A terrifyingly calm face, as if what he said was a completely normal thing. He wasn't human, he was a monster. Looking at the pale girls in front of me, I felt like a knife was cutting into my heart. Every single one of them should have had a good life, but in the end, they were destroyed, torn apart until not whole anymore. And their end would just be dying nameless in this devil's place. My hands shook uncontrollably, but I tried to keep myself calm. Woman, if I help you, will you let these girls go? Narrator, the man looked at me as if I had just said something ridiculous. He bared his teeth in a faint smile. Man, stranger, you're too naive. Of course, we can't release them. Look at how we've arranged such a good future for these girls. First, they will serve infected clients, then have their organs harvested for sale. Only then is their value maximized. And the dead bodies? Think about it. Who cares about the burial place of these poor girls? Narrator, he laughed loudly, shouting a string of commands in a language I didn't understand. The men standing around the grinder began to act. In the next instant, the remaining girls were thrown straight into the grinder, except for Hứa Tình. I stood frozen, watching the container overflow with mushy flesh and blood, feeling dizzy to the point of nearly collapsing. My ears rang. I couldn't even hear the sound of gears grinding anymore. Finally, I walked following them. On the way, I noticed a few more girls being led away. I hadn't noticed them before. Their faces were deathly pale. A girl about 13 or 14 years old, perhaps having suffered too great a mental shock, was convulsing continuously, legs trembling, then suddenly urinated in her pants. The hem of her skirt was soaked, eyes rolled back, limbs jerking repeatedly. Clearly having a seizure. The men didn't care, just laughing loudly. Man, stranger, haha, she's so scared she peed her pants. Truly useless girls. Next time we have to catch some boys. Narrator, the guy who slapped me earlier walked over, lifting the girl's skirt and mocking. Man, stranger, haha, look, peed her pants. Hey, doesn't medical school teach anatomy in the first lesson? Why so scared? Narrator, I tried to control my anger, gritting my teeth. Woman, the girl is having a seizure, needs emergency aid immediately, let me. Narrator, but before I could finish, Hứa Tình grabbed my hand tightly and shook her head. I stopped. The next moment, they took some shovels from the truck and started digging a pit. A pit deep enough to bury many people at once. I watched in shock as they threw each girl into the pit and then filled it with earth. The girl with the seizure was thrown in like a broken doll. Shovel after shovel of earth slowly covered their bodies. Earth up to their waists, then to their necks, then covering their panicked eyes, and finally burying everything. From start to finish, no one screamed, but their eyes were full of fear. Those eyes were like a knife stabbing straight into my heart. I bit my lip tight, not daring to speak, my mouth full of the taste of blood. At that moment, there was only one thought in my mind. I will definitely avenge them. I must make these beasts die without a whole body. In my ear, a disgusting voice rang out. Man, stranger little sister, do you want to be like them? If you dare to run away, we will tie you up and bury you alive in the ground. Narrator, my whole body got goosebumps, trying to hold my breath, forcing myself not to tremble. Suddenly, a cold voice rang out. Man, Brother Nam, the police over there have been dealt with. Let's take the goods to the labor camp. Narrator, it was Man Hao's voice. My heart was filled with hatred to the point my eyes felt like they were being pricked. I knew I had to endure. If I let emotions overtake reason, I would die immediately. Man Hao remained calm as if nothing happened, walked over to me, pulled me closer, his tone light. Man, Brother Nam, my phone fell where the support team was in Nansen town. Can you call for me to see if anyone picked it up, then return it to me? Narrator, the guy named Brother Nam glanced at me, smiling faintly. Man, this girl is quite alert, isn't she? Did you drop your phone? I was too busy catching her to notice. Narrator, he used his hand to wipe sweat with the corner of his white shirt, accidentally revealing his abdomen. Under the sweat-soaked fabric was a torn wound, even revealing red flesh. Brother Nam looked at the wound, frowning. Man, are you injured? Who stabbed you? Narrator. Man Hao calmly wiped his hand lightly over the edge of the wound, voice emotionless. Man, when crossing from Yunnan to Myanmar, I was surrounded by local gangsters. But it's no problem. Narrator. Brother Nam took out his phone to call. Man Hao smirked, mocking. Man, brother, you should change your virtual number. Ending in 748 isn't a lucky number. Narrator. Virtual number ending in 748? My whole body shook violently. Because the message warning me about Man Hao was also from a virtual number ending in 748. Now in Nansen town, Man Hao just mentioned it, but the person holding the phone was Brother Nam. If this wasn't a coincidence, it proved Man Hao lied about what happened in Nansen town. Eventually, Man Hao's call didn't connect. We were herded onto a covered truck, all covered in black cloth. Sitting on the seat, I didn't take my eyes off Man Hao, trying to find signs of a gap on his face, but he revealed absolutely nothing. Hứa Tình still held my hand tight, leaning her head on my shoulder, her voice whispering weakly. Woman, Trin Lam, don't think anymore. Narrator. I shook my head and patted her hand to reassure her. Woman, you are my friend, the most important person. It's okay. Narrator. Throughout the journey, we switched cars 3 times. The 4th time we switched cars, I saw the man who forced me to drink water in Nansen town. On his wrist, he wore a special watch. It was Man Hao's watch, a high-end watch with recording and hidden camera functions. He patted the watch while laughing at Man Hao. Man, when you used this watch to pay at the hotel, you left it at the reception desk. What's wrong? Like this girl so much you're crazy in love, dropping things constantly? Narrator. He rolled his eyes, looking me up and down, eyes full of filth. In that moment, my brain felt hit by a wave, my body broke out in cold sweat, but I was extremely lucid. I closed my eyes recalling that night at the hotel. I remembered clearly when Man Hao came out of the bathroom, he wasn't wearing a watch at all. If this watch had a surveillance recording function, then when entering the hotel room, he surely took it off to avoid being recorded. As soon as I realized that, only one sentence rang in my head: you have to watch out for Man Hao. This was exactly what Hứa Tình told me. He intentionally left the watch. He intentionally mentioned the virtual number ending in 748 for Brother Nam to hear. Why? I widened my eyes staring at Man Hao. His eyes were jet black, the light in his eyes clearly transparent in a strange way. I had speculated every possibility, each hypothesis leading me to a single conclusion. The thought made my whole body tremble, tears immediately welling up. I bit my lip hard, forcing myself not to cry. Brother Nam squeezed my chin, laughing sleazily. Man, what's wrong? Moved to tears because of your boyfriend? Narrator. He looked at Man Hao and laughed again. Man, hey, actually at first we planned to kidnap this girl to blackmail her family. After all, her family has money, asking for a few $100 million is no problem. But after checking her background, I discovered she's also a doctor. So we changed the plan, both blackmailing and utilizing her medical skills, and finally we can still sell her organs. One arrow hits 3 targets, right? Haha. Narrator. I calmly stared at him, speaking coldly. Woman, seems you investigated me very thoroughly? Narrator. He paused slightly but very quickly burst out laughing. Man, of course. Rich kids like you always have security, neighbors packed tight. It's inherently hard for us to act. If Man Hao hadn't brought you to Myanmar, we would have directly killed you long ago. For what? Simple. Hire some half-dead criminals or those with terminal cancer, then let them kill you with their own hands. That way, even if the police investigate, they can't trace it back to us. Narrator. I stared into his cloudy eyes, then suddenly rushed at him, screaming. Woman, get out. Narrator. But deep in my heart there was only one question: why don't they catch men? I turned my head to look at Hứa Tình beside me. Her face was pale with fear. I grabbed her hand tightly, taking a deep breath. I had to find out the truth. Afterward, we switched cars one more time. They forced us to walk through a dense forest. Ahead, by the riverbank, I saw a row of tall buildings. I observed the surroundings. The building wasn't too high, only about 8 floors, but the area was very large. It was surrounded by Myanmar armed forces, guns ready, patrols constantly walking back and forth. I tried to suppress the fear, but it surged strongly. This place might be one of the largest organ trafficking hubs. In a chaotic country like Myanmar, factions fighting for every inch of land, plus increasingly tense anti-Chinese sentiment, this area could never be safe. But I only cared about one thing: Man Hao's true identity. He was nearly 1.90 m tall. Even standing among burly men, he stood out distinctly. I stared at his neat neck, then rushed straight at him, shouting, "Woman, it's you. You harmed me." Man Hao. Narrator. The men immediately rushed in to grab me, cursing. I still tried to cling to Man Hao, pretending to be angry, then bit hard on his ear. But actually, I leaned close to his ear and whispered a single sentence. "Woman, are you an undercover cop?" Narrator. In the moment our breaths crossed, I heard him whisper 3 words. "Man, Tam Chagon." Narrator. My hands suddenly lost all strength. I remembered very clearly, in the regulations of the anti-drug police force, one must absolutely never reveal their true identity. My father was an anti-drug police officer. He sacrificed his life when I was 18. He couldn't possibly say his real name unless he was signaling to me that he was truly police. I sobbed, my whole body going limp. Man Hao hugged me tight, patting my back gently. "Man, Trịnh Lâm, my baby. Let me tell you a secret. I really am an undercover cop. My real name is Tam Chagon." Narrator. I grabbed his shirt and said softly, "Woman, humph, if you continue like this, I'll change boyfriends." Narrator. Hearing that, Man Hao's eyes flashed red. His angular, determined face revealed a trace of loss, but very quickly curled into a smile again. "Man, go ahead and change. But before changing, at least see if I'm capable of protecting you or not, right, Trịnh Lâm?" Narrator. I glared at him. "Woman, dream on. If I change, I'll change immediately. Unless you die, otherwise I will definitely change." Narrator. Man Hao suddenly pulled me close. His hands tightened, pressing hard on my back, squeezing me until I couldn't breathe. At that moment, I suddenly realized my words could become a curse. I looked at him, his face still the same as in the past, but the emotions in my heart shattered. My tears just fell, then I cried miserably, unable to hold back anymore. I was afraid. I was afraid my words would come true. Man Hao laughed softly, his tone carrying a teasing note. "Man, look, you really are a difficult little girl, holding grudges like that." Narrator. The men around started hooting and laughing. Man Hao, this girl is yours. Hurry and take her to the room to show her what it's like to mess with the boss." Narrator. Man Hao smirked without rebutting, just held me tight, dragging me towards a small room next to the guard post. Hua Tin tried to hold me back, but Man Hao stopped her. I intentionally struggled, falling to the ground a few times to make the scene more realistic, then was dragged away by him again. He opened the door, threw me into the room, bent down and spoke slowly. "Man, scream. Make them think I'm really torturing you." Narrator. He gently placed me on the wooden board, sweat dripping from his chin onto my neck. I bit my lip, pulled the belt from his body, and said softly, "Woman, use this." Narrator. Man Hao's hand trembled slightly, his voice lowered. "Man, Trịnh Lâm." Narrator. I nodded firmly. "Woman, these organ traffickers have no mercy. If they see you soft-hearted, they will suspect. I deliberately provoked you in front of them so that later I could approach you more easily. Now I just want to ask you one question." Narrator. Just then, mocking laughter rang out from outside. Man Hao, what are you doing that I don't hear the girl moaning? Are you not strong enough?" Man Hao, be a bit rougher. Narrator. I gripped the belt in my hand, gritting my teeth. "Woman, hit me." Narrator. Smack. The first lash struck my face, causing my skin to sting, quickly swelling red. I screamed, intentionally crying loud so they would believe it was real. As soon as there was a chance, I asked in a low voice, "Woman, how long have you been undercover? Have you investigated the rank of this organization? Is Hua Tin one of them?" Narrator: Man Hao shook his head. Man, she isn't high level, but tried to join an extremely dangerous organization. Woman: Hua Tin tried to join the organization? Narrator: I frowned. Woman: What about Hoa Di? Narrator: Man Hao sighed. Man, Hoa Di doesn't work directly for the organization, but she always wavers between doing it or not. That's why I warned you not to trust her. Narrator: He paused, then continued. Man, remember? The day you received the message saying Hua Tin died, I went out to buy food for her. I lost a lot of time because I was summoned by Myanmar border guards to meet a high-level figure. She is the one directing the entire organ trafficking network in northern China. Narrator: He looked at me, his eyes becoming more serious. Man, do you know who she is? It's the woman you once thought was a victim. Narrator: I shook my head. Man Hao looked at me, hesitation in his eyes. A moment later, he slowly opened his mouth. Man, it's your mother. Narrator: My mother? The weak woman who only knew how to love me all her life, who always treated me gently, she was involved in an organ trafficking organization? How could that be? My head buzzed. I felt totally unable to accept this truth. I stared at Man Hao but couldn't utter a sound. He reached out to stroke my face, his voice low. Man, Trịnh Lâm, she has always been monitoring you. She was the one who built the apartment complex you live in. That day you messaged her from the bathroom, she immediately called back not out of worry for you, but to confirm whether the organization should eliminate you or not. If they suspect you are pregnant, they won't kill you immediately but will keep you to exploit. They must control everything about you, including your body. Narrator: I was stunned. Suddenly all the small details became clear. Man Hao linked my iPhone to his account not to track me, but to help me mislead my mother. Brother Nam wanted to kidnap me for ransom, but if my mother's organization was involved, the goal was no longer money, they wanted to control me. My mother knew my family very well because she was my father's second wife. But no matter how many reasons, this was still beyond my imagination. I never thought my mother would be involved in such an organization. I suddenly remembered the message I hid in the fish feeding list with lemon juice. I panicked and said tremblingly, "Woman, I left a hidden message in the fish care list." Narrator: Man Hao kissed my face lightly, voice low. Man, you're right. The security guard in that apartment complex is your uncle, but he is also a double agent. He follows whichever side is more beneficial. If he discovered your message, then surely everything is fully controlled. We just landed off the plane. Think about it. Besides the surveillance monitors, who else heard our entire conversation? Narrator: Right at that moment, the door was kicked open. Hua Tin rushed in, looking panicked. Woman, Hua Tin, you guys weren't making any noise. I just wanted to check. Narrator: Outside, Brother Nam smiled faintly, slowly walking in. Man Hao, you're pretty tough, aren't you? Why so silent? What were you two whispering? Narrator: Man Hao stood up pretending to refasten his belt, speaking calmly. Brother Nam, this girl is very hard to handle. I had to spend so much effort to discipline her. I think it's best to send her to the labor camp. Narrator: Brother Nam pushed me forward hard, smirking. Next time I'll handle her myself. Narrator: I was dragged upstairs by a group of Myanmar women wearing long skirts. The corridor above had no air conditioning. Windows were covered by thick curtains so inside wasn't visible. In the corner of the building was a lightning rod, the wall peeling, seeming to have been struck by lightning many times. Just as I entered, Hua Tin suddenly grabbed my hand tight, her voice trembling. Woman, Hua Tin, Trịnh Lâm, can we go together? Trịnh Lâm, I'm so scared. Narrator: I looked straight at Brother Nam. Woman, can she go with me? I'll do the heavy work for her. Narrator: Brother Nam burst out laughing, immediately turning hostile, swinging his hand to slap me straight in the face, knocking me to the floor. There are only two types of value here, live to earn money or die to have organs harvested. If you don't want to be dissected, don't open your mouth to demand anything. Narrator. I propped myself up on the floor, trying to soothe the pain. Out of the corner of my eye, I glimpsed Hua Tin smiling coldly. At that moment, I realized something terrible. Hua Tin, she had sold her life to the organization. She deceived me, deceived Man Hao too. I was beaten time and time again. I thought I was looking for a friend, but it turned out I was facing a demon. I had always trusted my mother, but she was the devil behind it all. What in the world is this? Why? In just a few short days, my whole world had turned upside down. The pain pierced my heart and liver. I lay prone on the ground for a long time, still unable to stand up. Brother Nam kicked me hard. Man, get up now. Or do you want to die early? Narrator. Hua Tin hurriedly pulled me back, her voice trembling. Woman, Hua Tin, Brother Nam, don't be angry. She didn't mean it, didn't mean it. Narrator. She shook her head, lips trembling, eyes full of fear. But why? Why could she change emotions so quickly? Right then, Brother Nam suddenly changed his mind. Man, all right, this girl belongs to Man Hao. I propose keeping her and Hua Tin in the same room. That way, if the girl makes a move, we can use Hua Tin to threaten her. Narrator. Threaten? I didn't understand, but Brother Nam said nothing more. Finally, Hua Tin and I were taken to the basement. This place was no different from a human cage, having a small window like an animal pen. Afterwards, I was taken to another area to work in the medical room. Late at night outside, strange hissing sounds rang out, like terrifying noises echoing from afar. Hua Tin trembled in fear. All night, I had to comfort her. She curled up in my arms like a panicked little bird. At that moment, I hoped I was wrong. I hoped Hua Tin was truly just a victim. But then the next morning, in a daze, I saw Hua Tin raising her hands in a strangling posture towards me. I blinked immediately. She withdrew her hands. I was fully awake, but she returned to the timid appearance of yesterday. I stared into her eyes, looking and looking. Suddenly my eye socket stung. How long had we been apart? 2 years or nearly 3 years? I lowered my head, laughing softly, then raised my head, tears falling uncontrollably. I tilted my head back, trying to force the tears back in, but I couldn't. I sobbed, hugging Hua Tin tight. Woman, you know what? I value friendship very much. I had a hard time finding you. Please don't disappoint me. I truly beg you. Please don't make me despair. I am truly very scared. But Narrator. I didn't know what else to say. She was my most important friend, but she betrayed me. I couldn't understand if she was truly a bad person. I sighed, head dizzy. I couldn't cry too long. Brother Nam hated weak people. He only believed in the strong. Just then he walked in smirking. Man, done? Time to get to work, little girl. We prepared an operating table for you to practice. Let's go. Narrator. He dragged me away, taking me to a level 3 standard operating room, about 30 square meters in area. Inside, fully equipped with heart rate monitors, blood flow check devices, oxygen supply, but only 3 medical instruments. I suddenly felt strange. Woman, where is the patient? Narrator. Brother Nam glanced at me. I followed his gaze to see Man Hao lying on the operating table. 2 large men were pushing him into the operating room. Man Hao's abdominal area was stained with blood, even soaking through his white shirt. His forehead was covered in cold sweat, his lips pale without a trace of blood color. Brother Nam lowered his head close to my ear, whispering, Man, yesterday the doctors were all busy. Man Hao only got anti-inflammatory drugs, but the wound is getting serious. If you want to join the organization working for us, you must have guts. We prepared a patient for you to practice your hand. If you can do it, I'll know if you can continue or not. How about it? Narrator. I didn't answer him but just asked. Woman, is there anesthesia? Narrator. Brother Nam smirked. Man, what anesthesia? This type of minor surgery doesn't need anesthesia. He can take it. Narrator. I clenched my fists tightly without saying a word. I knew they didn't trust Man Hao. He observed very keenly, had excellent judgment. He was qualified to lead the kidnapped girls to the labor camp, but he was suspected. So they used this way to warn him. They warned me if I dared to be close to Man Hao I would die without a burial place. I looked into his eyes, anger surging in my heart. I wanted to kill Brother Nam right on the spot. I gritted my teeth lifting Man Hao's shirt. The wound on his stomach was torn open, flesh mushy mixed with blood and pus, clearly intentionally tortured. Someone ruthlessly used their hand to gouge the wound, intentionally causing severe infection. It was Brother Nam. I suppressed the hatred, calmly proceeding to stitch his wound. Throughout the process, Man Hao didn't say a word, but cold sweat poured down, his whole body tense from extreme pain. After finishing stitching, my hands were stained with his blood. I looked straight at Brother Nam, voice icy. Woman, done anything else? Narrator. He looked at me for a while then smirked. Man, I knew you were very smart. You are also very cold. You control your emotions absolutely well, without hesitation. She was right, you truly are a bright seed worthy of being trained to take over the organization. Narrator. She? Who he was talking about, I knew the answer. His tone had a bit of respect, showing the person he mentioned had a very high status, even knowing me well. Definitely my mother. She planned this beforehand. The more I thought, the more horrified I became. The feeling of being pushed into the abyss became stronger and stronger. Brother Nam laughed mockingly. Man, you did very well, now rest. Tomorrow you will start learning how to harvest organs from the camp doctor. Narrator. On the way out of the operating room, I kept recalling Man Hao's wound. Footsteps sounded behind. I stopped. Brother Nam stepped close to me, smiling but not smiling. Man, Trin Lam, someone reported to us that Man Hao is an undercover cop. What do you think? Is there a way to test him? Narrator. I turned back, speaking coldly. Woman, so you were the one who intentionally tortured Man Hao, tearing his wound. Narrator. Brother Nam froze. Man, how do you know I did it? Narrator. I stared at him, gaze unblinking. Woman, I once heard a professional organ trafficking organization must be cruel to the extreme. When entering the organization, I witnessed the cruelest things with my own eyes. But among all those I met, you are the most ruthless. Besides you, I can't think of anyone else who could act so viciously. Moreover, the wound on Man Hao's stomach wasn't from a beating, but gouged out by hand. Narrator. Brother Nam burst out laughing. Man, you're really smart. Indeed, that woman wasn't wrong. But so what? Just a small lesson. When suspected by the organization, regardless of whether you betrayed or not, the outcome can't be good. Narrator. I pressed on. Woman, who is she? You mentioned her many times. Narrator. Brother Nam stopped laughing, his voice becoming cold. Man, not time to tell you yet, but sooner or later you will meet her. Narrator. I didn't ask further because by this time I had a terrible guess that made my whole body tremble. I looked towards the peeling wall outside the building, where the lightning rod was. That was the least monitored area. When the rainy season comes, lightning strikes often, damaging the wall severely. Therefore, they never used that area as a control center. If the power source was cut, the operating room system would be disabled. I bit my lip, silently noting this. At this moment, Brother Nam leaned close to me, tone ambiguous. Man, do you want to test if Man Hao is an undercover cop? If you really suspect him, we can kill him immediately. How about it? Narrator. I had anticipated Man Hao's outcome. In a hell filled with crime like this, betrayal is never tolerated. If one cannot sink deep into the mud, one can only be eliminated and killed. I swallowed hard, looking straight at Brother Nam, lips moving but unable to say a word. Brother Nam sneered. Man, what? Can't bear it? Let's go, I'll take you somewhere. Narrator. As soon as he finished speaking, I suddenly heard chaotic footsteps. I turned back to see a group of girls running in panic, blood still on their hands, not yet washed off. Clearly, they were just like me, just forced to practice getting used to the scene of slaughter. Leading the group was a girl wearing thick glasses, looking very timid. Although wearing thick glasses, I still clearly saw her eyes darting around, extremely panicked. Her hands trembled, several times wanting to put hands in pockets but couldn't. I was just about to warn her when Brother Nam stepped forward. He didn't say a word, just opened the window, picked the girl straight up and threw her down. Thud. Do you know what the sound of a water balloon breaking when hitting the cement floor sounds like? This sound was 1,000 times heavier. I stood frozen, stepping to the window. The girl lay on the ground, beside a pool of dark red blood. She convulsed violently, face twisted in pain, blood spilling from the corner of her mouth. She choked on blood, coughing a few times, then eyes rolled back white. She stopped moving. The group of girls screamed piercingly. Brother Nam walked away calmly. I couldn't take it anymore, rushed to grab his hand tight, my whole body sinking deep into the abyss, voice cold as ice. Woman, where do you intend to take me? Narrator. Brother Nam glanced at me, then looked at the trembling girls. He smirked. Man, if anyone dares to show fear, the outcome will be like the girl just thrown from the high floor. Here we don't lack women. Narrator. The group of girls huddled together in fear. No one dared to make a sound. Brother Nam withdrew his gaze, turning to me with a faint smile. Man, let's go. Narrator. I silently followed him. He took me to a place called the lab. Inside, dozens of skulls were arranged neatly on shelves, some cracked, some smashed, even some pierced. Brother Nam spoke slowly. Man, do you know whose skulls these are? Narrator. I shook my head. He sneered. Man, all are of undercover cops. They died protecting the people. How about it? If Manhao really is police, next time you will see his skull here. Narrator. I silently looked at those skulls, bowing my head deeply. Before, I never imagined the world could be this cruel. My heart had gone cold. I answered calmly. Woman, if you want to test Manhao, I can think of a way. But if I haven't determined accurately, I won't act. Narrator. I had predicted Manhao's outcome. He only had two paths, sink into the mud or be torn apart. Thinking of this, my heart felt heavy again. Brother Nam was very satisfied, looking at me with interest. He walked to a black plastic bucket, opened the lid, used his hand to hook out something shiny, then rubbed it on a skull as if polishing human bone. I stood still, but inside waves were raging. If I had a knife in hand, I wouldn't hesitate to stab him to death, then dissect his belly like an experiment. Brother Nam rubbed the skull while whistling with a leisurely expression. I quietly observed the surroundings. The door lock was electric. If power was lost, the door couldn't be opened. Based on my observations, Brother Nam had a narcissistic personality, liked control, so he never carried a key. This was shown by the type of lock he used. A moment later, he finished wiping the skull, then led me to another area. This place had 3 large rows of shelves, filled with glass jars, inside soaking human remains in formalin solution. There were hands, ears, even human lips, each part cut off but retaining shape, looking extremely gruesome. At the end of the room was a large tank. Inside was a liver soaking in solution. The blood vessel cord was still connected, but the thing inside wasn't clear anymore, looking like a liver hacked to pieces. I forced myself to suppress the nausea, almost vomiting. At the same time, I made a decision. I would kill Brother Nam with formalin solution. Brother Nam suddenly turned his head, making me panic to the point of almost failing to dodge his gaze. He pointed at the glass jars soaking human remains, asking me, Man, do you know whose things these are? Narrator. I replied I didn't know. Brother Nam sighed, tone full of regret. Man, all of them were brothers who went through life and death with us. Look carefully, this severed leg, it belonged to Vong Vang, broken by your undercover cop shot in the Philippines. In Manila, there is the largest organ trafficking black market in the world, and he was taken there. Then this ear, bitten off by an undercover cop during a struggle. Narrator. He pointed to each organ sample in turn, telling each bloody story. Each time he spoke, I felt the hatred in him deepen. After telling, he lowered his voice, eyes full of killing intent. Man, do you understand why we hate undercover cops? Once we know their identity, we will kill their entire family, leaving no one. Narrator. My whole body shook. A sound rang in my head, but too fast for me to grasp anything. In just a moment, Brother Nam walked to the largest glass jar in the room. Inside was a liver, but it looked very cloudy, as if destroyed. He sighed. Man, why is it so cloudy? Everyone knows formalin content and mixing ratios not being the same can affect the freshness of organ tissue. Narrator: I purse my lips, taking the opportunity to speak. Woman: perhaps your solution mixing formula has a problem. I can help you adjust it, ensuring organs keep freshness longer, helping you see the intact shape of your brother. Narrator: Brother Nam's eyes lit up. Man, really? Narrator: I nodded. He took a deep breath, then whispered, Man, this is the organ of the person most important to me. Tam Chagon. He once protected me, but in the end. Narrator: At that moment a beep sounded in my ear like the signal of a heart rate monitor. Tam Chagon. He didn't know that was Man Hao's real name. Man Hao used to be his brother. My whole body felt like being pricked by needles, my head ached like being hammered. Pieces of memory, never linked, now suddenly connected. Brother Nam kept rambling. Man, if he were still alive, he would probably be Hua Tin's age. She is 24 this year. You're around that age too, right? Your file says 20 years old, but I don't think so. You are very clear-headed, careful, mature beyond your age. When threatened, you didn't tremble at all. On the contrary, your eyes were incredibly sharp. You surpass Hua Tin. Narrator: He stared at me, eyes becoming increasingly bizarre. Man, I always have a feeling you resemble someone. Narrator: I calmly faced his gaze. Woman: Who do you think I resemble? Narrator: He smirked without answering. I knew he was testing me. He suspected but had no proof. He wanted me to reveal a gap. Immediately after, he opened a locker. Inside was a thick document file sealed with a stamp. He knelt down, starting to flip through, finally pulling out a file bag, dusting off the cover, then slowly opening it. On it were big, clear words, Diary of Tam Chaogon. But Brother Nam didn't hurry to open the diary, just stroked the book cover lightly, then stuffed it inside his shirt, laughing mockingly. Man, tonight I will review it to reminisce about my glorious past. Narrator: Based on the current situation, 2 issues needed confirmation. First, why did Brother Nam suspect Man Hao at this time? Second, is this diary fake? It was too thick, impossible to be created in a short time. I tried probing, smiling, faintly asking, Woman, have you never suspected your brothers? Is it possible they were caught by police? Narrator: Brother Nam's face immediately darkened, but he couldn't hide his unnaturalness. I recognized this small reaction immediately. Micro-expressions are things that cannot be hidden. If Tam Chaogon was truly his brother, highly likely he didn't know Man Hao was Tam Chaogon. So who exactly is Man Hao? Why did he use that name? Each puzzle piece in my mind gradually stacked up tighter and tighter. Coming out of the lab, Brother Nam asked me, Man, how to preserve organs in formalin without getting cloudy? Do you really have a way? Narrator: I nodded confidently. Woman, I have a way. Narrator: He suddenly laughed loudly. Man, you're interesting. You look at the girls tortured by me yet can still remain calm. Why? Narrator: I blurted out. Woman, because I have no way back. I was driven to a dead end. Only 2 choices remained, die or serve you. But if I serve you, I will become an executioner, be the one harvesting those girls' organs. Even if I survive, I will be sentenced to life imprisonment. So I only have one path, join your organization. Narrator: These words were my plan. I had to stay and wait for the opportunity to counterattack. But after speaking, I suddenly felt shaken. I felt like I had said these words before. Brother Nam stepped close to me, narrowed his eyes observing me, then smirked very coldly. Man, I have a feeling you are truly my female successor. Narrator: Female successor? I was enveloped by a feeling of fear. I confirmed Man Hao was suspected and was assigned to mix formalin, so Brother Nam temporarily let me go. I returned to the room. Hua Tin sat holding her head, eyes full of cold hatred looking at me. Woman, Hua Tin Trin Lam, where did you go? Narrator: I told the truth. At that moment, Hua Tin suddenly went crazy. She rushed to grab my collar, gritting her teeth, screaming. Woman, Hua Tin, did you submit to them? You still dare say you want to save me? If so, why did you choose to submit to them? Narrator: I intended to answer, but she suddenly burst out laughing. Woman, Hua Tin, that's right Trin Lam, you did very well. You should submit, otherwise you would have died long ago. You should become an accomplice, should become. Narrator. She lowered her head, staring at her hands, eyes bulging, laughing insanely. I immediately realized something was wrong. She had never behaved like this before, but looking at her now I felt like her spirit had completely collapsed. I gently stroked her forehead. Woman, Hua Tin, don't be afraid. I'm here, don't be afraid. I will protect you. Narrator. She wasn't insane like before anymore, but obediently leaned into my arms, voice tiny. Woman, Hua Tin, will you really protect me? Will you take me out of here? Narrator. I nodded. Woman, I will take you out of this place, take you back to your hometown, to Kunming, where the 4 seasons are like spring. Narrator. That night I just hugged her like the first night we were here. I whispered, recounting old stories. Woman, Hua Tin, do you remember? The first time you entered the dormitory, holding a bag of osmanthus cakes, you even said it was a Yunnan specialty. Do you remember what I said? Narrator. She replied softly. Woman, Hua Tin, what did you say? Narrator. I smiled lightly. Woman, I said I don't like sweets. Narrator. Hua Tin chuckled, then leaned on my shoulder, gradually falling asleep. I also slowly closed my eyes. The next morning when I woke up, 3 men stood at the door. Man Hao, Hua Tin, Brother Nam. Hua Tin pointed at me loudly. Woman, Hua Tin, Brother Nam, do you see? I wasn't wrong. She truly wants to escape. She even wants to take me along. Narrator. I widened my eyes, looking at her. She panted lightly, eyes daring not look at me but glancing at Brother Nam. As for Man Hao, he stared at me like a hawk, sharp eyes unblinking. Brother Nam spoke first. Man, you want to escape? Narrator. I didn't answer, still glued my eyes to Man Hao, mouthing to him, lie. My mind was still floating in yesterday's story. Brother Nam said Tam Chowgon was his brother, but Man Hao wasn't Tam Chowgon. So who is he? Who exactly is deceiving whom? I unconsciously frowned. Brother Nam stepped forward, his voice deeper than before. Man, you want to run? Narrator. I smiled faintly in response. Woman, do you really believe what a mental patient says? Didn't you see Hua Tin had problems since yesterday? Narrator. I was betting big. If I guessed right, Brother Nam knew Hua Tin's psychological state. If he knew, why still use her words to interrogate me? Before I could think it through, Brother Nam stared at me, speaking slowly. Man, how do I know if you really want to escape or not? Let's use a lie detector. Narrator. Lie detector? I couldn't escape, and I couldn't let Brother Nam live any longer. This time I didn't answer him. Brother Nam smirked. Man, compared to humans, I trust machines more. Narrator. I grabbed his wrist. Woman, you promised to let me do 2 things for you first, right? Narrator. Brother Nam brushed my hand away, speaking coldly. Man, you can do them after confirming via the lie detector. If you have nothing to hide, what are you afraid of? Man Hao, watch her. Narrator. Saying that he left the room, his back disappearing behind the door. Finally I understood he didn't fully trust me. My eyes turned red. I grabbed Hua Tin's collar, gritting teeth, asking. Woman, did you really sell your life to the organization? Why did you denounce me to Brother Nam? Why? Narrator. I roared, then slapped her hard. Woman, I risked my life to save you, yet you do this? Narrator. Hua Tin looked scared out of her wits. She looked at me, laughing stupidly, then stared at the floor, then looked at the ceiling, mouth mumbling constantly. Suddenly she hugged me tight, voice choking. Woman, Hua Tin, don't kill me, please. I'm very good. I will obey. I won't disobey them anymore. Don't kill me, please. Narrator. I took a deep breath, letting her grab my shirt tight. Woman, tell me, are you really crazy or just pretending? Narrator. Hua Tin suddenly pushed me away hard, eyes bulging. Woman, Hua Tin, no. They won't kill me. But you're different. You are their accomplice. You are one of them. Narrator. She backed away towards the wall, screaming. Woman, Hua Tin, you are the daughter of the devil. You look exactly like them. Exactly. Narrator. She completely lost control, mind disordered, unable to provide any useful information. I turned to ask Man Hao. Woman, Do you see she's really crazy? Narrator. Man Hao replied calmly. Man, she only goes crazy in front of you, otherwise completely sane. Narrator. I was even more confused. If she was really crazy, why only show it when facing me? If she feigned madness, what was her purpose? I squatted down, holding my head, feeling extremely tired. Man Hao sat down beside me, voice low. Man, you approached Brother Nam too fast, actions too obvious. Surely he suspected you already. Trịnh Lâm, do you know what he wants to do next? Narrator. I thought carefully, only two possibilities. First, Brother Nam wanted to check if I was truly loyal to the organization, so used the lie detector to check if I intended to escape. Second, he wanted to check if I lied about Man Hao being an undercover cop. Man Hao looked at me coldly, voice calm. Man, I received news from an insider. Brother Nam already knows I'm an undercover cop. The evidence is too clear. Narrator. Evidence too clear? I turned to look at him in surprise. Man Hao smiled faintly, leaning close to my ear whispering. Man, Trịnh Lâm, Brother Nam isn't testing your loyalty. He just wants to confirm one thing. Do you know I am police or not? If you answer no, you will die immediately. Narrator. My eyes were red and swollen, teeth almost clenched to bleeding. Woman. Man Hao, who exactly is Tam Chaogan? Narrator. In the corner of the room, Hứa Tình looked like a broken wooden doll, staring blankly at me, lips curling into a bizarre smile. Woman. Hứa Tình Tam Chaogan. Do you know him? You are very familiar with him. Or is it, you are the one who killed him? Hee hee. If you don't know, just open Tam Chaogan's diary and see, hee hee. Narrator. Her voice was light as if floating in the air. My whole body was ice cold. Every hair on my skin stood up. Open Tam Chaogan's diary and see? Had I been to this camp before? My hand trembled uncontrollably. Man Hao hugged me, his voice hoarse. Man, Tam Chaogan was the first-generation undercover cop sent to the organ trafficking organization in Manila 6 years ago. He died. Before dying, the organization still hadn't discovered his police identity because he had approached too deep into the organization's apparatus. So the police decided to let someone continue using the code name Tam Chaogan to finish his unfinished mission. Narrator. In other words. Woman. That's right, Tam Chaogan is just a code name. Narrator. Man Hao nodded. He squeezed my hand tight, his voice trembling. Man, Trịnh Lâm, don't you understand? Brother Nam no longer avoids facing you. That is the clearest sign. Sooner or later you will die. Narrator. I shook my head, tears falling drop by drop. Looking into his clear eyes, I couldn't hold back. My hand placed on his broad shoulder, choking up. Woman, if you are sure to die, why did you bring me in here? Do you want me to die with you? If so, why did you save me from them? Narrator. Man Hao's eyes showed a bit of hesitation. I immediately grasped that hesitation. Woman, Man Hao, if you brought me here, then surely you have another reason. Or. Narrator. I turned my head to look at Hứa Tình, voice hoarse. Woman. Hứa Tình once said she wanted to kill Tam Chaogan. What exactly does she know? Narrator. Man Hao took a deep breath, his eyes fluctuating. Finally, he explained. Man, Hứa Tình once accidentally walked into Brother Nam's storage room and saw Tam Chaogan's diary. In it was written something, but I don't know exactly what. Narrator. This statement was full of holes. Brother Nam was a cautious person. Tam Chaogan's diary was something he cherished extremely. He kept it in an absolutely secure place, surrounded by alarm sensors, even preservation formalin. How could Hứa Tình walk in by mistake? How could she read it? He was lying. They were hiding something from me. I clenched my hands, taking a deep breath and gritting my voice. Woman, does that mean only Hứa Tình knows the truth and you don't? Narrator. Man Hao didn't refute, just nodded slightly. In the corner, Hứa Tình smirked a bizarre smile. I didn't ask anymore. Anyway, Man Hao said Hứa Tình became crazy after meeting me. Although I had an extreme headache, I needed to calm down. Currently, the biggest danger was Brother Nam. I needed to eliminate him first, then I would find a chance to open his locker to check what Tam Chaogan's diary actually wrote about me. Man Hao asked me what plan I had. I replied, Woman, I observed around the camp. I discovered the east wall has traces of lightning strikes. Moreover, it connects straight to the lightning rod. If I can place a small metal plate near the air conditioner outdoor unit, I can conduct electricity straight into that area. When lightning strikes down, it will burn the entire electrical wiring of the camp. Narrator. Manhao's eyes flashed. He smiled faintly. Man, previously I also thought of destroying the power source, but the stabilizer system here samples too frequently, so I haven't found a feasible way. Trịnh Lâm, you're smarter than me. Narrator. I replied bluntly. Woman, no matter how smart, I don't know what you and Hứa Tình truly want to do. My head is a mess. For now I need to focus on the polygraph test. Manhao, do you know which line the storage room's electrical system connects to? Narrator. Manhao pondered. Man, the entire electrical circuit on the right uses the same line, including the operating room and the air conditioner outdoor unit. Moreover, next week there will be a thunderstorm. Narrator. I nodded. Woman, if so, I must pass the polygraph test first. But relying on myself isn't enough, I need sedatives. Narrator. Saying that, I turned to look at Hứa Tình, voice lowered. Woman, can you watch her? I'm afraid she will report. Narrator. Manhao gently replied, yeah. I looked into his eyes, feeling something very strange. He smiled softly, saying, Man, Trịnh Lâm, do you know how long we have waited for this day? Finally, almost time to meet him. Narrator. Meet him? Meet whom? I frowned, intending to ask further, but Manhao suddenly hugged me tight, his whole body trembling. I felt his hot tears falling on my neck. I froze for a moment, finally hugging him back. With Manhao's help, I got the sedatives. On the polygraph test, Brother Nam only asked me 2 questions. He sat down asking straight. Man, Trịnh Lâm, do you plan to escape or want to stay here to seize power? Narrator. I answered firmly. Woman, stay here. Narrator. Outside the monitoring room, the polygraph examiner signaled okay to Brother Nam. He smiled faintly, showing satisfaction, then continued asking. Man, is Manhao an undercover cop? Narrator. The feeling now was like walking on a steel wire. Just slipping a bit meant falling into the abyss. How should I answer? If I said yes, Manhao would definitely die. If I said no, the sedatives weren't strong enough to completely hide physiological reactions. My heart would race, blood pressure rise, beta waves in brain change. I felt like suffocating. Sharp pains appeared in my chest, as if my heart was squeezed by someone. I tried to force myself calm, deciding to bet big. Just as I intended to open my mouth to answer no, Brother Nam suddenly threw the polygraph away, laughing loudly. Man, Trịnh Lâm, no need to check anymore. Ha ha. Narrator. He laughed like a madman, leaning hands on the table, red eyes veined with blood. Man, I knew Manhao was police long ago. I just wanted to see how you reacted. See if you have enough bravery to succeed me or not. Narrator. My chest ached. I had an extremely bad premonition. The very next second, Brother Nam calmly ordered. Manhao, deal with her. Narrator. I sat on the chair, feet pressing hard to the ground, fingernails digging into palms until bleeding. If I didn't try to suppress it, I feared my hateful eyes would reveal everything. I looked straight at Brother Nam's eyes, asking, Woman, you want to groom me into a successor, why want to kill me? Narrator. He looked at me calmly, smirking. Man, your mother does logistics across Southeast Asia. Your family also has some status, but until now no one noticed your disappearance. Do you know why? Narrator. I put my hand on the table, feeling my heart beat slower. Hearing and smell seemed to vanish, only a strange sound echoing from afar, as if someone was calling me. Brother Nam continued saying something, but I no longer heard clearly. The call got closer. Suddenly, Brother Nam waved his hand in front of my face, making me startle out of the daze. I blinked, finally regaining consciousness, slowly opening my mouth. Woman, because she is your accomplice. Narrator. Brother Nam burst out laughing, tone full of sarcasm. Man, seems you guessed right. True to being Trịnh Lâm daughter, worthy of the name. Initially, your mother and father together founded this organ trafficking organization. Later, the organization expanded and developed to today's scale. Pity your father died early. But look, now how glorious the organization has become. Narrator, glorious? Stepping on countless corpses to be called glorious? Trinh Nguyen? Could it be my mother's real name? Brother Nam saw the doubt in my eyes. He smiled faintly. Man, that's right, Trinh Nguyen is your biological mother. When she was pregnant with you, she was hunted by Philippine police, so she abandoned you at the door of a professor receiving Philippine students. Your father was murdered right in that pursuit, and your mother abandoned you. Narrator, no need to explain further, I understood everything. My mother sought out the adoptive father, married him. Turns out it was all a plan. I always thought she loved me, always protected me, but the truth was she deceived me for so many years. Tears silently fell down my cheeks, my whole body trembling from cold. Brother Nam patted my shoulder lightly, his voice full of ridicule. Man, this is the reason why your mother treated you specially. You are very smart, but you also have psychological problems. Bipolar disorder accompanied by split personality symptoms. Narrator, split personality? First time I heard that phrase. I was completely petrified. I looked at Brother Nam in astonishment, but he just calmly signaled. Immediately a subordinate brought a file folder, my medical record. On it clearly written I once suffered from severe split personality, even had 4 different personalities. But later I was treated. The person treating me was Tam Chowgon. I tremblingly flipped each page, my hands shaking uncontrollably. When finished reading, I completely turned to stone. Brother Nam still smiled. Man, you have experienced too many things, right? But you are also very talented. You see, this world inherently has no clear black and white, only the strong survive. Narrator, I suddenly grabbed his collar, gritting teeth asking. Woman, so you intentionally sent fake messages to Man Hao, saying Hua Tin was about to die, then lured me here? Narrator, Brother Nam still smiled, responding calmly. Man, that's right. I discussed with your mother long ago. An organ trafficker with only one personality cannot be perfect, but one with 2 personalities is the most perfect criminal. You don't need treatment because you reach the ideal state. Narrator, I gripped the table tight, fingers banging continuously on the tabletop but couldn't calm down. No, I didn't want to be like this. I wasn't a criminal. I didn't want to become a murderer. I wasn't a devil. I wasn't like them. My whole body shook, curling up, almost shrinking into a block. Brother Nam's voice still echoed in my ears. Man, judging by current situation, seems our treatment method was effective. Your eyes changed, you started wavering. But don't worry, still one doctor can help you control everything. Narrator, her? I immediately understood who she was. Before killing the enemy, I needed to endure to the limit. Brother Nam paused, looking at me with interest. I used fingernails to scratch my palm, causing pain to spread, forcing myself to maintain calm. I said, Woman, I need a metal with strongest conductivity. In this camp, in the next 10 days, I won't let Man Hao have a chance to send documents out. Also, we'll find out if he has accomplices. Narrator, Brother Nam, narrowed eyes, tilting head. Man, you need strong conductive metal for what? Want to shock Man Hao to death, huh? 10 days? Trinh Lam, do you know you increasingly resemble your second personality? All right, I'll let you try. Narrator, I nodded, turning to leave, but just stepping out the door, my whole body shook in uncontrollable spasms. Inside the room, Hua Tin still huddled in the corner as usual. I angrily grabbed her collar, gritting teeth, asking, Woman, are you a doctor or an undercover cop? Hua Tin, are you their accomplice or the one fighting against them? Narrator, Hua Tin smiled bizarrely, baring teeth stiffly, her mouth blossoming into a twisted smile, as if wanting to tear the corners of mouth. Woman, Hua Tin, hee. Trinh Lam, let's go home, go home. I will take you back to Yunnan, hee. Narrator, my chest ached from anger, I couldn't extract any answer from her. She really was crazy. Suddenly Hua Tin hugged me tight, whispering in my ear. Woman, Hua Tin, do you know who the doctor is? He is a wicked person. He is in Brother Nam's collection room. He. Narrator, I intended to ask further, but Hua Tin started rambling nonsense again. I completely collapsed. I hugged her tight, choking up. Woman, We are friends, best friends, Hua Tin. Narrator. But in the end, I didn't find any clue. That midnight, a new thought gradually appeared in my mind. If the doctor really existed, was there a possibility of a third person? Could it be that person wasn't Man Hao, nor Hua Tin, but another person? Brother Nam intentionally revealed these things to me just to make me suspect Man Hao and Hua Tin? If Hua Tin really was an undercover cop, then killing her was the trump card I could use to overthrow Brother Nam. From the start, Brother Nam's real purpose wasn't to test if Man Hao is an undercover cop. He knew the answer long ago. He only wanted to test my bravery, strategy, and most importantly, he wanted me to kill Man Hao. I was like a puppet controlled by his string. I definitely had to cut that string. I had to kill him. This matter couldn't be delayed any longer. Narrator. The next day, Brother Nam gave me a bar of silver alloy. Silver has extremely strong electrical and thermal conductivity, one of the metals with highest conductivity. As soon as I requested him to give me strongest conductive metal, he didn't give pure silver, but gave alloy mixed with impurities. He was guarding against me. Brother Nam looked at me asking, "Man, Trinh Lam, you need strongest conductive metal for what?" Narrator. I lied to deal with Man Hao, but in reality, I needed it to kill Brother Nam. Formalin, formaldehyde, is a preservative solution with main ingredient water mixed with formaldehyde. I knew in construction, if formaldehyde concentration exceeds safe level, it can cause acute leukemia. If inhaling too much, body will react with nausea, dizziness, abdominal pain, even anaphylactic shock. I wanted to use formaldehyde to poison Brother Nam, but I had to ensure when he was poisoned he couldn't call anyone for help. So I would burn the storage room's electrical system, causing him to be locked inside, unable to escape. This impure silver bar was the key to burn the electrical system. But I needed an ally, someone trustworthy to help me execute this plan. The first person I thought of was Man Hao, but could I trust him? Actually, I had no one else to rely on. I had to go find him. Narrator. In the afternoon, I went to find Man Hao. Compared to 2 days ago, he looked significantly thinner. When I saw him, the corner of his mouth still had blood stains, one hand holding his stomach tight, face pale. My heart clenched. Why did it turn out like this? Why wasn't everything like before? Clearly before he loved me, protected me, why now couldn't I see through him anymore? I thought of Brother Nam's message, kill Man Hao as soon as possible. Feeling like a sharp knife cutting into my heart. Even breathing was painful. I wanted to hug him once, but I myself didn't know what I was thinking anymore. Man Hao walked to me, still like every day, rubbed my head gently, saying, "Man, why such an expression? Brother Nam ordered you to kill me already? Is that right, Trinh Lam?" Narrator. My nose stung, eyes blurred with tears. Man Hao smiled lightly. "Man, I don't want to let your hands be stained. Trinh Lam, listen, I know you have many doubts, I know you don't trust me, but trust me, I will never harm you." Narrator. I covered my mouth tight, trying to press hard on collarbone to soothe the pain in heart. I choked. "Woman, Man Hao, why do you hide things from me? Why did Hua Tin become like that? You know everything, right? Tell me, Man Hao." Narrator. Man Hao gently wiped tears on my face, his eyes full of tenderness. "Man, sorry, Trinh Lam, there are some things I can't tell you. But there is one thing you must remember. You are the police's hidden eyes and ears." Woman, hidden eyes and ears? What is the real meaning? Man, previously you suffered from multiple personality disorder. Tam Chowgon cured you. He was an undercover cop continuously sending news out. But after he died, the trafficking organization became too strong. Police couldn't break into internal parts, so they decided to use you. They utilized the specialness of your second personality to bring you into the camp. If your original personality isn't changed, you will have strong investigative tendency, compassion, will find ways to save those girls. That is the best plan. But if you lose original personality turning into second personality, then police will use you as a trump card inside the organization. Narrator. Brother Nam was right. Tam Chowgon used to cure me, but my mother wanted me to turn into second personality. As for Man Hao, he calculated both paths. I was just a pawn in their hands, a tool able to be used anytime. I looked at Man Hao, painful to the point of speechless. My chest tight. I try to claw my chest, trying to suppress the pain. I choked, asking, "Woman, man, how? So you just pretended to love me, pretended to help me, pretended to care for me? All was just fake?" Narrator. No matter how I tried to hide, my lips trembled uncontrollably. Woman, you were just using me. You were just deceiving me because my mother is the founder of the trafficking organization, so you wanted to keep me, not let me be killed, just because of that you used me, right? Narrator. Man Hao intended to step forward, but I pushed him away hard. Woman, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Narrator. I was scared. First time in life, I was truly scared. Scared of myself, scared that no matter how painful, I still couldn't leave him. I lowered my face, not daring to look at him, my voice hoarse, trembling, speaking. Woman, do you really want to save those girls? Or is it all just pretense? Narrator. Man Hao was silent after a long while. He nodded slightly. Man, that's right. Narrator. I bit my lip tight, took a long while for me to utter next sentence. Woman, then exchange it for me. Kill Brother Nam. From now on consider us never knowing each other. Narrator. Footsteps echoed from afar. Man Hao approached me closer again. I panicked. I screamed, voice hoarse, even couldn't control my breathing. Woman, don't come near me. Don't come near me. I beg you. Do you know? I inherently have no compassion. I inherently am not a good person. I won't save anyone, save no one. Don't come near me. Narrator. Someone save me. Is there anyone? Is there anyone who can save me from this nightmare? I hurt so much. Final step of the plan. Lure Brother Nam to be poisoned and kill him. I told Man Hao the whole plan. According to previous observation, the air conditioner wiring system in the west corner of the building connects directly to Brother Nam's collection room. Just burning the air conditioner unit, collection room definitely will lose power. By then he will be locked inside, unable to escape. But the camp's surveillance system is very strict. I can't cut power myself. I need to utilize nature's power. The area around air conditioner unit is a point with high lightning frequency. I fabricated an ultra-thin metal wire from silver alloy, placed on air conditioner unit, aiming to conduct electricity when lightning strikes, causing lightning current to detonate cooling system. I explained detailed plan to Man Hao, then instructed him. Woman, starting tomorrow rainy season will come, lightning frequency will increase. Tomorrow when we change new formalin solution for storage room, you place metal wire on air conditioner unit, then slightly shift position of lightning rod. Narrator. Man Hao said nothing much, just softly replied, yeah. He received metal wire from me. I turned to leave, but just as I walked he suddenly called my name. Man, Trin. Narrator. I paused, voice calm but cold. Woman, from this moment I won't trust anyone, including you. Narrator. The following days I continuously experimented with formalin solution. I had to ensure Brother Nam would be poisoned as soon as contacting it, and only thing able to utilize was what he cherished most, his brother. Inside Brother Nam's storage room, total 40 jars of formalin solution, symbolizing 40 dead brothers of his. No matter how important those people were, no one could compare to Tam Chaogan. So I secretly changed solution in Tam Chaogan's jar. I adjusted ratio of glycerin and oxygen, increasing formalin concentration to maximum level, so when he opens jar he will be poisoned immediately. For days of testing, finally I succeeded. I created a special formalin solution, smell not too strong but can cause death immediately when inhaled. I reported to Brother Nam that replacement of new preservation solution was completed. He personally labeled each jar to identify identity of each brother inside. But when he labeled Tam Chaogan's jar, he labeled a normal formalin jar, not the jar I poisoned. Could this be coincidental? No. Probability for him to label normal jar by mistake is extremely low. That can only have one explanation. Brother Nam suspected me. I was petrified for a few seconds. I had to switch poison jar back immediately. Brother Nam was always observing me. He approached, voice slow, carrying hint of laughter. Man, Trin Lam, is there a problem with that preservation solution jar? Narrator. I shook my head slightly. He looked at me meaningfully, then smiled bizarrely. Outside, a thunderclap exploded. Lightning started. Brother Nam stepped closer, voice full of curiosity. Man, you used conductive silver for what? I also don't want to suspect you, but can you give me an explanation? Narrator. I stiffened, gritting teeth, replying. Woman, these past days haven't you found answer yourself? That's my own idea. Narrator. Brother Nam nodded repeatedly. Man, very good, very good. Then let's check everything again with me. Narrator. That night I secretly returned to the lab, secretly changed label on Tam Chowgon's preservation solution jar. I moved that label to poison jar to ensure Brother Nam would open it himself. Noon next day, storms started coming. Thunder rumbled, lightning flashed, brightening the sky. Brother Nam ordered kidnapped girls group, requesting them to move formalin solution to his collection room. Only then did I realize this room wasn't just storage place, it was also a miniature lab with formalin gas filtering and absorbing devices. He was too cautious. We underestimated his defense level. After those girls left room, only me and him remained. Brother Nam locked door, looking at me slowly, asking, Man, Trinh Lam, do you want to confess something? Why did you sneak back to lab last night? Narrator. I calmly took a deep breath, avoiding his gaze, replying, Woman, I just checked state of preservation solutions again. Narrator. Brother Nam chuckled. Man, oh really? Then why did I see you from hidden camera peeling label from Tam Chowgon's jar? You switched his label. You know what? This morning I requested people move that jar to a place with lower temperature. And guess what I found? Just shaking that jar slightly, oxygen inside surged out immediately. It smelled 10 times stronger than normal formalin solution. So I forced girls group to smell it. Guess what happened? Narrator. I was tense to the point, back of shirt drenched in cold sweat. I said nothing, I also couldn't say anything. Brother Nam narrowed eyes, sinister smile full of satisfaction. Man, all of them collapsed immediately. Don't know if they're alive or dead. But you know what's most interesting? I also tried smelling it, but I didn't suffer anaphylactic shock, nor difficulty breathing. Do you know why? Narrator. He slowly leaned close to my face, breath blowing on my skin. Man, because you aren't smart enough to kill me. Narrator. I trembled all over but still tried to stay calm. Brother Nam patted my shoulder lightly, his voice carrying a hint of regret. Man, Trinh Lam, why do you have to be so tense? You haven't truly become the second personality yet, so even if you make a mistake, I can still forgive you. Narrator. He knew. He knew everything. I failed. Brother Nam ordered me to continue arranging body parts in the storage room. Little by little, I carefully placed them in position, pretending to be respectful and afraid. Then that moment arrived. A bolt of lightning struck straight into the corner of the building. The whole room shook violently. I knew Manhao succeeded. He placed my silver wire in the correct position. Brother Nam shrugged, smiling, saying, Man, the weather is really weird today. Thunder and lightning, like wanting to tear this place apart. Narrator. He took out phone to call, voice lowered. Man, a chi, check stabilizer system, power filter, transformer and lightning rod on roof immediately. Must not lose power. Narrator. I listened to every word, then continued pretending worried, quickly finishing arrangement task. When it was turn to place Tam Chowgon's heart, I intentionally dropped it to floor. Thud. Heart fell on cold floor. I panicked, bending down, trembling, saying, Woman, sorry. I didn't mean to. Narrator. I stood still, pretending panic, eyes full of terror. Brother Nam laughed gleefully, eyes lighting up with amusement. Man, Trinh Lam, are you afraid of me? Scared to the point of trembling like that just because I said a few words to you? Narrator. He slowly walked towards me, bending down, intending to pick up heart. That moment, I tore a mask off his face and stomped hard on Tam Chowgon's heart. Thud. Brother Nam collapsed immediately. Violent coughing erupted. I didn't let him regain composure. I kicked heart hard towards his nose. Brother Nam choked, coughing, face purple. He started vomiting violently. Boom. Another lightning bolt struck. This time closer, west wall jolted hard, causing room to shake madly. Brother Nam hurriedly ran towards door, but in corridor sound zzz, electric shock rang out. Whole building lost power completely, storage room door automatically locked. Brother Nam lost balance, vomiting ceaselessly. He collapsed on floor. I slowly looked at him, waiting for final judgment of God of Thunder. I put on mask, looking down at him, voice deep cold. Woman, I'm afraid from now on you won't have the chance to forgive me, Uncle 3. Narrator, Brother Nam couldn't make any sound. He twitched lips as if wanting to say something but couldn't utter words. He continued vomiting, tried to turn over to avoid choking, but I immediately stepped on his chest, forcing him lie supine, not letting him turn. Pile of vomit blocked mouth and throat, making him unable to breathe. I looked at him from above, voice full of contempt. Woman, do you know where you lost? You lost because too arrogant. You always acted alone, assuming all of us were afraid, assuming no one dared resist. Narrator, cough cough. Brother Nam choked coughing, vomit increasing. He started struggling, but couldn't breathe. I laughed sarcastically. Woman, from the day seeing girls die miserably under your hands, I swore I would kill you. And now you forever cannot turn back. Narrator, I gritted teeth continuing. Woman, do you know why I wasn't discovered even though switching Tam Chowgon's label? Because I never intended to switch that label. What I really did was inject formalin solution concentration 95% directly into his heart, and then stomp it right in front of you, causing poison to spread for you to inhale. Narrator, cough cough cough. Brother Nam's eyes became distorted. He opened mouth weakly begging. Man, you want to be a bad guy, right? Save me. I'll tell you doctor, who doctor is. Narrator, I bent down. Woman, who is the doctor? Narrator, he nodded repeatedly but coughed harder, vomit splattering onto my mask. In just a short moment he choked to death. In just a few seconds, I couldn't extract the doctor's name. Not in time. I relaxed hand, voice icy. Woman, speak. Who is that doctor? Speak out, I spare your life. Narrator, he pointed towards file cabinet containing Tam Chowgon's diary. I dragged him crawling there, forced him unlock by fingerprint and iris scan. Inside, besides Tam Chowgon's diary file, there was a top-secret file, my psychological diagnosis report, treatment method, and doctor's name signed in right corner, Lily. Lily? Doctor? I asked coldly. Woman, is she Hua Tin? Narrator, Brother Nam shook head. I continued asking. Woman, where is she? Narrator, he tried to speak. Man, few months ago she gave treatment documents to me then disappeared. I never met her. I intentionally mentioned memory reproduction therapy in front of you to make you suspect Hua Tin, so you two would kill each other. Narrator, I looked down staring at him and whispered one final sentence. Woman, but you calculated wrong. Haha. Narrator, indeed I set trap for Brother Nam to fall into. But that woman, Lily, who exactly is she? If I can find her, can she cure me? If cured, then I don't need to turn into second personality anymore. I must find her at any cost. While thinking, Brother Nam started coughing dry again. He seemed unable to hold on. I looked at him coldly, used foot to kick organ samples soaking in formalin solution to floor. Liquid spilled spreading, mixing human ears, noses, arms, all kinds of flesh tissue splattering. I looked around four sides, tears involuntarily fell. Dead girls seemed surrounding me, seemed witnessing me punishing Brother Nam. I used foot pressing hard on his chest, watching him writhe dying, watching him roll eyes back white, watching his eyeballs almost protruding from sockets. Finally, he couldn't breathe anymore. He stopped breathing right in front of me, hands dropping to ground. I was drenched in sweat, unable to control, tears kept pouring. I really killed him. About 10 minutes later, absolute silence came from outside. I ripped off mask, fell to ground, pretending poison too. Someone picked me up, shaking, calling Brother Nam. Just hearing breath, I knew that person was Manhao. I got stomach pumped, forced to drink something. Finally, I still survived. In hospital room, Manhao stayed beside me. He said, Man, Trin Lam, your mother has arrived. Narrator. I stared intently at bedsheet without reacting. At this time I had no time to bother with my mother. Inside my head were countless question marks. I started thinking. Currently Man Hao probably was most honest person with me, his undercover identity confirmed. But Hua Tin was different. She became increasingly strange, her identity also full of questions. Moreover, Man Hao seemed not to know who she really was either. And woman named Lily even more mysterious, she never appeared. I thought for a long while then spoke. Woman, Man Hao, do you know who Lily is? Narrator. Man Hao was a bit surprised then replied. Man, you know Lily? She used to cooperate with Tam Chaogan's undercover group, extremely mysterious. No one knew her real identity. Which team did she belong to? After Tam Chaogan died, she also disappeared. Narrator. Disappeared? I frowned. Woman, before she still contacted Brother Nam, assessing my psychological state, instructing Brother Nam how to turn me into second personality. Why now say disappeared? If she really is undercover cop, why contact Brother Nam? And Hua Tin too, I think she and Lily are related. I don't believe she is really crazy. Narrator. Man Hao stared at me, laughing reluctantly. Man, Trin Lam, there are things I can't think for you. You must find truth yourself. Narrator. I slowly turned head looking straight at Man Hao's resolute face. Suddenly I thought of a matter. My mother's message. She wanted me to kill Man Hao. Now Brother Nam dead, she definitely will be more impatient. I was inherently immersed in plan now suddenly woke up. Woman, Man Hao, you must leave here. Narrator. Man Hao shook head. Man, it's too late now. Trin Lam. From moment I decided to be undercover cop there was no way back. Moreover, Brother Nam is dead. Someone needs to take blame for you. Do you think you can explain to superiors about his death? But your mother, she is type of woman never accepting betrayal. She needs a reason to stand firm in organ trafficking organization. Narrator. I looked at him puzzled. Man Hao explained. Man, Brother Nam was cruelest in organization. Your mother used him. Do you know how she handles undercover cops? She doesn't need torture but uses a special drug. This drug won't affect beta brainwaves, making people unknowingly confess all secrets. 6 years ago, she also made me drink that drug. Narrator. I was stunned. Man, if not for vigilance, if I really spoke out undercover cop list, Trin Lam, your identity would have been exposed long ago. By then you would only have one path to death. Narrator. Just as words finished, hospital room door suddenly pushed open hard. Group of men in black carrying weapons rushed in. Without word they immediately dragged Man Hao away. I panicked. My mother, taking advantage when I was lightly drugged, forced Man Hao drink drug. She wanted to force him confess entire truth. I panted, crawled out of bed rushing towards direction Man Hao was taken. But just running to corridor I suddenly stopped. I couldn't follow. Those girls detained in training camp needed me to save. If I followed Man Hao meant I completely cut ties with him, I would be labeled undercover, no way to live. Even if I was organ trafficking boss's daughter, couldn't avoid being killed like Brother Nam. But Man Hao. I whispered his name, leaning back against cold wall. I slowly slid down sitting. I forced myself to be awake. Trin Lam, you can't go down there, you can't let emotions control, can't be soft-hearted. I repeatedly reminded myself, repeatedly suppressed pain rising in heart. Until noise echoed from below, I slowly raised head looking through window blinds crack. 2 Myanmar mercenaries were tearing Man Hao's shirt. He was tied hands hanging midair on huge teak tree in middle of yard. On body full of crisscross long short scars, dark brown, light brown, pale pink. My eyes wandered on those scars and chaos surged. Something flashed in my head like a voice echoing from afar. It rang clearly in my mind. Mysterious voice, memory Trin Lam, the biggest mistake you made was giving birth to a son. That kid also has spirit, young age already wants to be police. If one day he becomes undercover cop then sent to trafficking or drug organization then what? Being undercover in organization like this is no different from signing death book. Narrator. I held head trying to suppress overwhelming panic. That voice got closer, whispering right in my ear. Mysterious voice, Memory Tam Chowgon, that is Man Hao's son. Haha. I really fear he won't escape fate. Trinh Lam, are you afraid? Narrator. My mind chaotic, chest heaving violently, head aching, sweat pouring profusely as if something crawling out of mind. Blood vessels on temples throbbed continuously. Why couldn't I remember this? Was it effect of second personality? I glared down at Yard, trying to adjust breathing. 2 soldiers rolled in a black paint bucket. Getting closer, I realized it was bait bucket, used to attract bee swarm. They slowly loosened Man Hao's bonds, placed him inside bucket, only exposing head outside, then used stick hitting bucket hard. Bucket vibrated, bee swarm started flying chaotic. Not long after, hundreds of bees crawled into bucket, crawling all over Man Hao. He was in pain, clenching teeth, whole body trembling violently. At this moment I saw a familiar figure, my mother, Trinh Nguyen. She coldly stared at Man Hao. Woman, Trinh Nguyen, you killed Brother Nam, right? Man Hao, how long have you been in this organization? From start, I didn't expect you were undercover cop. Now you must have an explanation to my superior. Narrator. She personally hit bucket hard. Bee swarm crawled up, flying around Man Hao's eyes. He closed eyes tight, trembling more violently. I took a deep breath. Even breathing felt tired. I bit finger, trying to control trembling shoulder. Finally, I couldn't hold it anymore. I turned back, lowered head using hand covering mouth, crying. I didn't dare look. I was in extreme pain, truly too painful. I wanted to rush down, wanted to save him, but I couldn't. Once I went down there, all would end. Don't know how long passed, cheering sound rang from below. I slowly turned head back. Man Hao almost no longer in human shape, all over body and face swollen with giant blisters, corner of mouth bleeding, looking exactly like time I met him that day. My whole body motionless for a moment. I suddenly remembered a story from very long ago. That day he seriously told me. Man, flashback, Trinh Lam, did you know? If being undercover cop, before being tortured to death, police will prepare a special drug. This drug is wrapped in a membrane able to hide deep under throat. It contains cyanide. Just biting membrane person will die immediately. Narrator. That day I asked him, being undercover cop can't find way to escape. Man Hao smiled faintly. Man, flashback, this drug must be tested a week in advance. If situation isn't too serious, no need to bite it, but if no way out, just vomit out. Casing won't be decomposed by gastric juice. Narrator. Now I understood. That afternoon when I found him, corner of his mouth had blood stain. Turns out he tested drugs since then. Soldiers beside my mother also realized abnormality. They rushed to try digging poison out of Man Hao's mouth. Man, stranger boss. Narrator. Man Hao clenched teeth, tilting head back, not letting them touch. Green veins stood out on neck, all blisters stretched to point, almost bursting. Trinh Nguyen, seeing that, didn't hesitate, pulling out a knife. She stabbed straight into Man Hao's stomach. Gulp. I hissed a choking sound, lips trembling. Tears drop by drop fell on back of hand. I almost couldn't see him clearly anymore. Man Hao, I don't see you clearly anymore. That knife was like scissors cutting from stomach up to ribs, blood spraying. Man Hao painful to point, chin trembling. That woman was too cruel, she truly was devil. My eyes ached, fingers wet. Now I realized I clawed skin torn. At this moment a guy trying to dig in Man Hao's mouth trembling screamed. Man, stranger boss. Man Hao is saying something. He is confessing real. He says in this training camp there is still another undercover cop, is a girl. Damn it, he has no breath anymore, boss. Narrator. My eyes suddenly went dark. I closed eyes tight, staggering, about to fall, didn't dare open eyes. No more, no more, no more. Man Hao shouldn't have been like that, shouldn't be like this. Impossible like that. I collapsed, leaning on glass, staring at knife stuck deep in his body. Too clear, too glaring. He lowered head, hanging there, blood from mouth drop by drop dripping down. Why no one came to save him? Why no one at all? Where is everyone? I felt my mind no longer normal. My vision became blurred, lost focus. I whispered his name. Woman, wake up. Man Hao, wake up. Narrator. He hung on tree, stomach slit open, Blood kept flowing ceaselessly. He once said he was undercover cop, was person using life to protect civilians. So how could he die? How could it be? My tears couldn't be controlled anymore. I ran too, bare feet staggering in daze. Suddenly a person appeared blocking my way. It was Hứa Tình. She stood there wearing white coat, whole body exuding calmness to point of coldness. She wasn't crazy anymore. She looked at me, ordering people behind. Woman, Hứa Tình, inject her with sedatives. Mental state unstable. Narrator, I looked down at her, smirked. Woman, look how heartless you are. You joined trafficking organization long ago, right? So who controls you? Brother Nam or Trinh Nguyen? Narrator, Hứa Tình didn't care about me, just turned to signal subordinate. Immediately they controlled me, dragging me back to sick room. Outside, Man Hao still hung there. I almost couldn't resist. I was tied tight to bed, injected with strange sedative dose. I tried to struggle, but very quickly body lost all strength. Hứa Tình stood beside, not saying a word. I glared at her. Woman, you deceived Man Hao, making him think you were crazy, but actually you just used madness to hide true purpose. You weren't crazy at all, you just pretended. So, what is your goal? Is to make me and Man Hao suspect each other, kill each other? Narrator, Hứa Tình expressionless. Woman, Hứa Tình, I true deceived Man Hao. From long ago I belonged to your mother. She wanted to turn you into second personality. As for me, just acting a play to stimulate you. When I read Tam Chowgon's diary in Brother Nam's storage room, I also saw your psychiatric evaluation record attached with treatment method. Now when Man Hao dead, I don't need to pretend anymore. Narrator, her voice emotionless like pre-programmed machine. Now I understood why her smile was so bizarre, why she treated me like biological sister, but finally turned like this. I couldn't understand. I looked at her, unable to understand who she really was. My eyes turned red, almost despairing. Woman, you and Man Hao knew each other since childhood. Hứa Tình. He died, hung out there, don't you see? Narrator, pain came again like countless knives cutting into brain. I held head tight, whole body trembling. So painful. Then suddenly a voice rang out, increasingly clear. I saw a familiar gentle face. It was Tam Chowgon. I screamed piercingly like madman. Looking at me now no different from Hứa Tình before. Hứa Tình walked to inject me another sedative dose. Woman, Hứa Tình seems dose just now not effective enough. Narrator, I looked at her blankly. Woman, why are you media expert but act as psychologist? Since when did you know my mother? Narrator, Hứa Tình still indifferent, but this time she answered clearly. Woman, Hứa Tình, I knew your mother from very long ago, since childhood. I grew up at Yunnan, Myanmar border, in Nansen town. She sponsored me to finish primary school. I owe her favor, so later working for her is normal thing. Don't look at me with those eyes. I studied double major media and psychology. True, I deceived you, but I also treated you. If you want, we still can continue being sisters. Narrator, I laughed coldly. Woman, sisters? You look out window, look Man Hao drenched in blood. Narrator, Hứa Tình acted as if not hearing, stepped back, gently said. Woman, Hứa Tình, I observed you for a time, seeing you having tendency developing second personality. In next few weeks, we will conduct experiment to see if you really transform into second personality or not. I will help you like what Lily recorded. Narrator, she accidentally lifted shirt hem, slightly revealing small listening device. I immediately realized she was acting. Everything just now was just acting. Like bucket of ice water poured on head, my mind immediately became clear. My mother made Man Hao drink beta brainwave stimulating drug, forcing him reveal truth, and when hung up he said it. In this training camp still one other undercover cop. Hứa Tình also revealed identity. She was exactly psychologist my mother mentioned. She injected me sedative, but why not continue speaking? Why not increase dosage? Only one reason, she intentionally did so. She was transmitting news to me. She wanted me awake. But for what? Man Hao's words rang in my head again. In this training camp, still one other undercover cop. I suddenly stunned. Is Hứa Tình undercover cop? But she left room. I lay there, head like exploding. Everything has two identities. If Hua Tin applies Lily's treatment method, then clearly she is Lily. Who exactly is Lily? I couldn't think out. But now most important thing is confirming Hua Tin's true identity and then helping her avoid being discovered by my mother. I understood my mother too well. She definitely would quickly find identity of remaining mole. While thinking, my mother walked in. On her body, smell of blood belonging to Man Hao. I stared at her eyes. In heart, only left one desire. Save those girls. Send this devil to hell. She slowly approached, hugging me. Woman, Trinyan baby. Mom, sorry Mom came late. But Mom always believed you would be able to adapt to this place without problem. AI, you didn't disappoint Mom. You killed Nancy, right? Narrator, she knew I killed Nancy. I glared at her with red eyes. She slowly left embrace, gently said. Woman, Trin Yuyan, nothing strange baby. Plan of you and Man Hao Mom knew long ago. Mom always eavesdropped on Man Hao. Narrator, eavesdropped? I coldly looked at her. She calmly took out recorder. Inside replayed full plan of me and Man Hao, from conductive metal wire to formalin. But content was changed. Clearly someone modified recording. I cautiously probed. Woman, is it Hua Tin helping Mom monitor us? Is this recording sent by her to Mom? Narrator, Trin Yuyan smiled. Woman, Trin Yuyan, she doesn't dare disobey you. You saved her, but she betrayed you. Are you very disappointed? But Mom doesn't blame her because Mom only wants to help you mature. Narrator, immediately I understood Hua Tin truly was undercover cop. She truly pretended to be crazy. But I still couldn't be 100% sure. My mother was infinitely more experienced than me. I decided to probe. Woman, did Mom never suspect Hua Tin? Man Hao said still one undercover cop in training camp. Very likely it's her. Narrator, Trin Yuyan didn't waver at all, only stopped a bit then replied. Woman, Trin Yuyan, impossible. Hua Tin is Mom's person, she is psychologist treating you. Narrator, she trusted Hua Tin absolutely. This made me feel suspicious. She was extremely suspicious. Hard to trust anyone, but why trust Hua Tin to this extent? I tried once more. Woman, what if she really is undercover cop? Narrator, Trin Yuyan smiled. Woman, Trin Yuyan, just bring proof Mom will believe immediately. Narrator, her smile made me extremely painful. I thought of Man Hao still hanging out there, whole body covered in blood. Hatred in me boiled. I red eyes looked through window frame. Woman, I want to bury Man Hao alive with my own hands. Narrator, Trin Yuyan seemed disappointed. Woman, Trin Yuyan, seems you haven't fully transformed into second personality. Narrator, this time I didn't answer. I knew very well in my head increasingly appearing images of Tam Chaogan. This was a sign perhaps not long later I would completely turn into second personality. If want to stop this process, only way is find Lily. But currently I didn't have any clue about Lily except dead Nancy and Hua Tin, whom I suspected. I decided first confirm if Hua Tin truly is undercover cop or not, then I would officially act against my mother. While thinking, Trin Yuyan patted my shoulder lightly. Woman, Trin Yuyan, just leave Man Hao to Mom. Lately Mom pampered your kindness too much, Trin Lam. In this world strong eat weak, if wanna survive you must learn to be heartless. Narrator, Man Hao was taken by me to a place very far. I didn't want to bury him near training camp. When lowering coffin, I hugged his cold body, leaned close to ear whispering. Woman, I won't take you home. I swear wherever you are I won't look for you anymore. Narrator, I slowly moved away from his ear but suddenly felt something in Man Hao's ear canal, as if a small piece of paper hidden inside. Under sunlight, I carefully used knife taking out small piece of silk fabric opening. On it wrote few words, my phone lost at leather bag shop in Nansen town. Hua Tin not trustworthy. Last two words immediately broke all my previous judgments. I just suspected Hua Tin was undercover cop, right? But also possibility Trin Yuyan intentionally caused confusion in my perception like Wei Nancy once did. How to determine? Whatever situation, I always must consider from two directions. I carefully verified handwriting. True was Man Hao's handwriting. So there would be two possibilities. Man Hao knew long ago Hua Tin always monitored me for my mother, so he didn't tell me straight, but before dying left message. Before dying, Man Hao just realized Hua Tin not trustworthy. So I must confirm Hua Tin's identity more. Narrator. I took deep breath, handful by handful earth covering Man Hao's body. Bit by bit, earth covered his eyes. Finally, I completely buried him. Throughout process, I tried to control, but when filling last handful earth, I couldn't hold anymore. Knelt down, back hunched, crying burst out uncontrollable. Woman, you know what? You know what? I failed to protect your son. Sorry Tam Chao gone. Narrator. Sweet metallic taste rushed up throat. I put hand covering mouth, looking down saw full of blood. I sneered. Memory and head suddenly became clearer than ever. On way back, I thought how to trap Hua Tin. Immediately, I remembered Man Hao's phone. Returning to camp, I told Trin Yuyan. Woman, when kidnapped, Man Hao lost phone. Before that he said left it at leather bag shop in Nansen town. Mom, I want to go there find back. Maybe have important info about undercover cop. Narrator. Trin Yuyan didn't agree immediately. She stared at me, slowly said. Woman, Trin Yuyan Trin Lam, are you still your first personality? Narrator. I nodded. She continued. Woman, Trin Yuyan, your first personality is too weak, too kind. How do I know you won't take this chance to contact police? Well, let's do this. Mom will let you go, but before that you must drink a test drug. What do you think? Narrator. Her voice gentle as spring breeze, but my whole body cold as falling into ice cellar. Using undercover detection drug to test own daughter? In her eyes, I wasn't even equal to a tool. I didn't resist, just calmly replied. Woman, fine. Anyway, this drug has no effect on person with multiple personality disorder. Narrator. 3 days later, I with Hua Tin went to Nansen town to find phone. Based on observation and judgment, I quickly found leather bag shop Man Hao mentioned. It located near Hotel Man Hao used to stay, a place with large traffic, but also very convenient to monitor activities around hotel. I asked female owner. Woman, did you pick up a phone? Narrator. Bag shop owner very welcoming. Woman, owner, oh my, so long ago. I feared no one come to take so still charged battery every day. Are you person losing phone? Narrator. She glanced at Hua Tin, then went inside taking out a phone giving me. I stared at her then received phone. Enter password and check images, browsing history, lock screen. Everything looked exactly like Man Hao's phone. But this wasn't Man Hao's phone. She knew Hua Tin. She was guarding against me. But I didn't expose, just smiled and said, Woman, give me 2 steamed buns, 1 vegetable filling, 1 meat filling. Narrator. Owner still happily took bun, but when I scanned code to pay, I intentionally transferred extra large amount. I raised phone for her to see. Woman, thank you for keeping phone so long. This is thank you money. Narrator. Owner stared at screen, expressions suddenly stiffened. Took few seconds for her to speak. Woman, owner, no need, really no need. Narrator. On way leaving Nansen town, Hua Tin silent. She crumpled hands, looked a bit tense. I looked down at Man Hao's phone, whispering. Woman, Hua Tin, do you know why I risked life returning here? Narrator. She shook head. I said, Woman, because I want to save you. I really want to save you. That thought kept haunting me, kept ringing in head like command. I watched Man Hao die. I hurt very much. I don't want to lose you anymore. So, tell me who exactly are you? Narrator. Hua Tin blinked but said nothing. I laughed. Woman, a normal person picking up phone if not submitting to police, then no need to charge battery every day. Why didn't she ask for ransom but just kept it? Do you think this phone truly belongs to Man Hao? Narrator. Hua Tin even more tense. I smiled lightly, looking straight at her eyes. Woman, why so tense? Narrator. Hua Tin didn't move, just whispered. Woman, Hua Tin, what do you want to say? Narrator. I swallowed dry, lowered voice. Woman, this leather bag shop is place few people pass by, but it locates near Hotel Man Hao took me to. It very suitable for monitoring. Do you understand? In other words, bag shop owner either police or informant. She looked at you very familiar, meaning you used to contact her. Do you want to explain? Narrator. Hua Tin stunned, whole body like pricked by needles. Woman. Hua Tin, I don't know her, just used to buy goods there. Narrator. I leaned close to her ear whispering. Woman. I didn't bring listening device, you no need worry. Narrator. Hua Tin startled. I placed hand on her shoulder laughing coldly. Woman. Your behavior at training camp and now completely different. Day Man Hao died. You injected me sedative then intentionally revealed listening device. You didn't accidentally let me see, you intentionally let me see. Moreover, in recordings my mother obtained didn't have any content about me and Man Hao discussing escape plan. Data was edited. So, what did you do? Narrator. Hua Tin pale-faced, eyes wide round as if couldn't believe. I seriously sighed. Woman, don't look at me like that. After experiencing too many things, who doesn't become more vigilant? Furthermore, I just asking if you are mole or not. I haven't confirmed yet. My mother also isn't trustworthy person. If we return to training camp, outcome only one path to death. Think about Man Hao. Narrator. Hua Tin sat there starting to tremble. After long while she opened mouth. Woman, Hua Tin Trin Lam, among people on list, you are smartest. I am second smartest. You always have advantage over me. Before I didn't believe, but now I believe. Correct, I am mole. That bag shop is secret contact point between us and police. Narrator. I silent for very long. Woman, besides mole identity, do you have any other identity? Narrator. Hua Tin didn't hide anymore. Woman, Hua Tin, I have two identities. One side working for police, other side also working for your mother. I walk between border of good and evil. That day I intentionally injected sedative for you, intentionally revealed listening device. I wanted you to help me destroy your mother. She truly crazy, I very scared of her. Narrator. I bit lip stopping few seconds. Woman, leave this place. Go as far as possible. Man Hao died, I don't want you to die, I don't want to see your body. Either you go right now to bag shop to find your teammates to take you out, or wait until I completely become second person. I will kill you with my own hands. Narrator. My tears welled up. I grabbed her hand tight. Woman, I tried to save you, Hua Tin. Don't make me despair. Narrator. Hua Tin looked at me for a long time, very long. Finally, she turned back leaving. I looked at her back, painful to point unbearable. In my head, images rushed back massively. They filled up to point wanting to explode skull. I painfully collapsed on floor. Why so many things like that? I held head curling in wall corner, closing eyes trembling. Don't know how long passed, I opened eyes. Seemed everything became completely different. I knew I became second person. 18 years ago Hua Tin caught back, exactly I denounced her. I stood beside Trin Yuyan, my mother. My mother looked at her smiling. Woman, Trin Yuyan Hua Tin, I didn't expect you were mole. Narrator. Hua Tin tremblingly looked at me. Woman, Hua Tin, you deceived me. Narrator. I smiled lightly. Woman, yeah. Didn't expect you so easy to deceive. I let you go, you didn't go. Now your mole identity too clear. Narrator. Hua Tin narrowed eyes staring at me. Woman, Hua Tin, did you become second person already? Narrator. I didn't know how she saw it, but I still nodded. My mother surprised. Woman, Trin Yuyan Hua Tin, are you sure? Narrator. Hua Tin from panic turned to calm. Woman, Hua Tin Aunt Yuyan, no need act anymore. I'm sure she changed. Let me check her more carefully. Narrator. When Hua Tin suddenly changed attitude, I completely couldn't react in time. Trin Yuyan smiled deeply. Woman, Trin Yuyan, then isn't this phase 2 therapy not in vain? Didn't expect her to recover so fast. Narrator. Phase 2 therapy? What meaning? Trin Yuyan sighed explaining. Woman, Trin Yuyan, actually when you killed Man Hao, Hua Tin always observed you from darkness. She thought you were transforming to second self. Later when you asked if she was mole, based on your character surely wouldn't confirm immediately. So she decided to follow your plan, agreeing let you take her to Nansen town. If then you let her escape, meant you still carried first self. But conversely, you suddenly returned denouncing her to me. Actually, I also couldn't guess for sure if you truly transformed or not. In Lily's diagnostic document, Phase 2 of treatment method requires continuous stimulation by bloody scenes and betrayal. You killed man how to let Hua Tin play mole role then betray you. Indeed effect extremely powerful. Haha. I feel Hua Tin even better than Lily. She knows how to adjust treatment method according to actual situation. Narrator. She laughed fully satisfied. I almost couldn't breathe. Turns out all just a play. I took Hua Tin to Nansen town because wanted to determine her identity. But later when seeing her escape, I started suspecting she just pretended to be mole. Because a real mole when reached this stage, if in training camp only left her then absolutely couldn't run away. Once escaping she would lose all contact with organization. If true police had planned to net entire organization then her running away action would make plan collapse. Thinking so I assumed she betrayed long ago, so I denounced her to my mother. If she truly worked for my mother then my mother would handle her herself. But if she hadn't betrayed then I still had chance finding way to save those girls. So denouncing was also a second test way. But I didn't expect everything just too perfect play. Everything was a trick. She only had one purpose that was forcing me completely become second self. Haha. I was wrong. I tried hard to believe Hua Tin was good person, but I underestimated cruelty of this world. I coldly looked at two people in front, looking at their smiling faces like flowers. Finally Hua Tin spoke up. Woman, Hua Tin adoptive mother, when Trinh Lam took me to Nansen town, she seemed to have found a contact facility. That was bun shop at East Corner XX Road. Mother should send people to handle that place. Also Manhouse phone was brought back by Trinh Lam. I can help mother decode entire contact info in it. Narrator. Hua Tin appeared extremely calm. Looking like a person reading book, calm and secretive. But in my heart surged layer upon layer of furious waves. I turned leaving, Hua Tin immediately followed. When walking to corridor, I stopped. Woman, no need follow me anymore. From now on you are just my test tool. I will see if I truly transform into second self or not. Friendship between us ends here. I no longer have any entanglement with you. Narrator. Hua Tin behind she softly sighed. Woman, Hua Tin do you remember? First time school organized basketball tournament, you broke leg. I bought lot of cucumbers, scraped clean seeds inside for you to eat. I told you from ancient times there was saying eating cucumber seeds helps bone heal faster. I didn't want you suffer pain too long. Back then what did you say to me? Narrator. I took deep breath. Woman. Sorry I don't remember. Narrator. But actually I remembered very clearly. I never forgot that sentence. After returning, I sat on bed thinking. The phone I brought back was fake. That meant real phone still at bun shop, still in owner's hand. Trinh Nguyen acted decisive and cruel definitely would immediately send people to handle her. I must save her. Luckily daytime, I managed to signal her. Back then I pretended showing payment screen for her to see, but actually I tilted phone to angle Hua Tin couldn't see. On screen I named my Wi-Fi hotspot, Hua Tin exposed. Leave immediately. That was exactly reason she stunned for very long. Before going Nansen town I planned beforehand. Manhouse phone fell into undercover cop's hand. Regardless Hua Tin's true identity what, those agents definitely also would be vigilant with her. Thinking so, I immediately took phone out, deleted hotspot name, then tried checking history of devices authorized access to find Manhouse's real phone. Because his phone once connected with my phone, I could easily find it. Before long I successfully connected. Now just need I take a photo. If Manhouse phone automatically sync photo proves we are sharing photo library. This is way I can secretly send message. I took photo of blank wall, then used editing tool writing on it. You are in danger. Leave quickly. I wasn't sure if they believed or not. 5 minutes passed no reply. I took another photo, this time I wrote, Manhao died. Less than 30 seconds later, new photo appeared in my library. On that white wall few words, we received news, will withdraw immediately. True as I predicted, bun shop owner took this photo and sent back me. I continued sending last message. Many girls are detained at XXXX. Follow trucks with yellow paint stripes running from Yunnan to Myanmar belonging to my mother's logistics company. Please read message quickly and delete it immediately. Just within 30 seconds, message was deleted. I knew well iPhone has feature recover deleted photo, so I quickly recovered deleted photos, deleted all written text, returned them to original blank wall. Then I canceled sharing Manhouse photo library. All happened completely secretly. About 30 minutes later, I received news from my mother's subordinates. Bun shop owner fled. Trinh Nguyen angry to point smashing teacup. She searched Manhouse fake phone but didn't find anything except browser history, photo album, and some useless data Hua Tin recovered. All empty. Finally, she turned to check my phone, but in it only 3 photos of blank white wall. Narrator. Next day, my mother forced me drink drug. Under Hua Tin's supervision, I admitted becoming second self. She even gave me a sedative pill. But one thing unstable. I understood very well if I truly transformed into second self, why memories of first self still so clear? Could it be I can easily move between 2 selves? 2 weeks after Manhao's death, I officially participated in organ robbery activity. Looking at price list in front, I couldn't hold back trembling. Normal heart price $150,000 US. First class up to $900,000 US. Continued scrolling down, kidney price $300,000 US and eyeball. I stared at number below, $3,000 US. One eye? A living human gouged eyes only worth $6,000 US? A subordinate standing beside reminded me. Man, subordinate Miss Trin, do you want to adjust price? Lately police at border patrol strictly, transporting goods no longer easy. We need to change prices. Narrator. I nodded, thought flashed in head, police increasing border patrol. This is good news. I signed name on price list unconsciously. But looking down at my signature I stunned. I just signed name Lily. Lily? I completely had no consciousness when writing that name, like it ingrained in my marrow. I panicked, fingers trembling hurriedly crossed out signature. Although I transformed into second self, but I still remembered clearly previous things. However, I still couldn't remember how Tam Chowgon cured me. I must check that diary again. Before, when I was mildly poisoned, I hadn't finished reading Tam Chowgon's diary, then my mother took back. I sure she didn't read it, but if not reading then she kept it for what? Thinking here my heart more uneasy. Next few days, no matter how I tried I couldn't remember. I decided finding reason to make my mother actively give diary for me to see. Lately Trinh Nguyen's mood extremely irritable, cause was police increasing border control. At meeting table, I while thinking way approaching her while giving proposal. Woman, now borders strictly controlled. If mom wants transport organs abroad via road won't be easy. Why don't mom try switching to sea route? Lately Myanmar building oil pipeline. Mom can utilize pretext transporting materials to bring goods through southern Myanmar seaport, then from there use speedboat taking organs out. Narrator. My mother frowned. Woman, Trinh Nguyen police still haven't caught Mole Man how confessed. Must solve this matter first. Why lately police operate so strongly? Before never happened this situation? Could it be this related to time you went to Nansen town? Narrator. She's suddenly silent, eyes flashing calculating ray. I tense to point daring not breathe loud. Don't know how long later she smiled saying to me. Woman, Trinh Nguyen haha, you underestimate mom. In this world no one understands you more than mom. Narrator. I knew she implying something, but instinctively I had feeling of unease about Hua Tin. Trinh Nguyen didn't say more, turned back to transport topic. She agreed with my proposal, ordered subordinate go survey oil pipeline area in Myanmar. Just finished discussion, she hurriedly left meeting room. I knew Hua Tin was tortured, but until next afternoon heard news she detained in underground prison basement. When I came to visit, she lay prone on ground, no strength left, mouth bleeding, constantly shaking head almost uncontrollable, seemed she was hit on head. I slowly approached squatting down, voice hoarse. Woman, were you exposed? Narrator. Hua Tin said nothing, still just shaking head nonstop. I reached hand rubbing her head. Woman. Actually I still remember story cucumber seeds help bone heal faster. Still remember you once told me. Trin Lam, no matter what happens later, I will always trust you unconditionally. Likewise, I never deceive you. Hua Tin, since you asked if I remembered or not, I thought a lot. Why Manhao's fake phone looked exactly like bun shop owner's phone? That needs high technical level. Why did you know clearly that phone fake but still lied to my mother? I start understanding. Person understanding my mother most, having most advantage when beside her only you. Yet I still tried avoiding you. However, finally you were the one getting hurt. Narrator. My tears fell on floor. You see? Although I tried leaving you, finally you still pulled in. Hua Tin coughed few times, from start to end still didn't answer me, but I had answer. I must save her. That night I met Trin Yuyan. She showed me Manhao's fake phone. Woman, Trin Yuyan, this phone has virtual positioning software, just plug in charger position displayed on map, won't change even if taken anywhere. Therefore police increased patrol. All because of Hua Tin. Narrator. But that day I checked this phone, no virtual positioning installed at all. If it had, surely installed days ago, not just recently. Clearly Hua Tin took blame for her. Regardless she acted with me or acted with my mother, ultimate goal was to protect me, like Manhao. He also protected me that way. When a live Manhao used to tell me story between two undercover cops A and B, B was very good person, but A was double agent. A protected B, but until death he didn't reveal true identity to B. Even before dying, A intentionally made B think he was bad guy. Manhao tried keeping me away from Hua Tin. Both of them bet everything on me. They all ready to die protecting me. Manhao undercover cop, Hua Tin double agent. Then what about Lily? I held head trying to recall but still couldn't think out. That midnight I received connection request from other device. I guessed it, police. I accepted connection and immediately they sent message as edited photo. 5 days later police will launch attack. If possible, comrade Trin Lam find way meet us again before action. I quickly replied, my mother intends utilize Myanmar oil pipeline route to hide organ transport. Gathering location near this route, near Kachin State. After sending I immediately recovered photo to original state avoiding detection. 2 days later I used excuse C route transport having trouble to personally check transport route, simultaneously secretly met police to plan details. No matter how cautious my mother was, she couldn't expect I betrayed her. 3 days later patrol force at border suddenly reduced. My mother lost guard, she thought, because training camp located in deep dense forest so police couldn't find exact location. But actually police just distracting her. Next day Trin Yuyan discussed how to handle Hua Tin. She decided let Hua Tin have outcome like Manhao. This time I didn't let her have chance. I didn't let Hua Tin live, but also didn't let her fall into their hands. I stood on her side, coldly said. Woman, Hua Tin is important pawn. She used to have contact with police, so first exploit info then kill. Like that won't waste. Narrator. Trin Yuyan angry. Woman, Trin Yuyan Trin Lam, why you still have compassion? If you keep this up I can't assign punishment task to you. Narrator. I stood up squeezing her wrist tight. Woman, punishment? Who is right to punish more than Nan Xie, brother Nam? If mom wants kill him, blame Manhao, then what? He is still alive. Narrator. Trin Yuyan's face immediately changed. Woman, Trin Yuyan, what are you saying? Narrator. Subordinates used to follow Nan Xie were present in room. Just few words I could make atmosphere become tenser. If she wanted put me in danger then I would reply with danger itself. Nan Xie's subordinate immediately slammed table standing up. I smirked. Woman, mom thinks besides cruelty mom has anything else worthy being leader of this organization? Narrator. Trin Yuyan's gaze swept over each person around, slowly shifted towards me. Woman, Trin Yuyan Trin Lam, are you trying to shake their trust in me? Narrator. I smiled calmly, throwing out recording. And it was my conversation with Hua Tin last night when I intentionally lured her saying necessary things. In recording, Hua Tin said Trin Yuyan incited me kill Nan Xie, then blame Manhao to consolidate power. She said she really didn't care finding mole, only wanted torture until someone admitted guilt. She said most suspicious person exactly Trin Yuyan. Although those were lies, but enough to cause big storm. After all, Trinh Nguyen left organization too long, everything before managed by Nancy. Now Nancy died, road transport network she built also gradually collapsed. Who wouldn't suspect she intentionally controlling everything? Amidst chaos, I threw out another phone. Inside had few fake documents creating scenario. Trinh Nguyen secretly contacted police to betray organization. Truth mixed fake. I didn't need know if they believed or not. I just needed Trinh Nguyen busy dealing with them. No time caring Hứa Tình. That midnight Trinh Nguyen found me. She questioned me. I made condition. Give Tam Chowgon's diary to me. I will help mom regain trust from organization. She gave me. Opening each page, I found records about my pathological condition and treatment method. Woman, reading diary, chapter 30-25. Lily lately treated Trinh Lam very effectively. She no longer wants to be wicked person. I guess soon she will return being normal person. Perhaps not long later she will be cured completely. Diary chapter 30-40. Lily used to be mole, but finally she betrayed police and became true bad guy. Condition to continue treating Trinh Lam. I agree, help her leave organization. In exchange, she will have peaceful life. She has leukemia, not living much longer. Narrator, I stunned. If Lily is another person, then why I unconsciously signed name Lily on papers? Why that handwriting exactly like my handwriting in Nancy's storage room? I frowned, pretending not care. Trinh Nguyen looked at me. Woman, Trinh Nguyen, you don't believe, right? You still think you still retain memories of self when in whole state? Narrator, I shook head. Woman, mom wants to test me? Narrator, suddenly I coughed hard, hand stained with blood. I stunned for a moment. Trinh Nguyen burst out laughing. Woman, Trinh Nguyen, you drank that drug. Actually, it has small amount of drug like truth serum, but it also has ingredient damaging lungs. You think your lungs still intact? You don't feel lately breathing becoming harder? If you lie, I might not notice, but if you don't obey, I won't give antidote. Trinh Lam, you changed. I don't think should give antidote to you. Narrator, I stared at her and suddenly I remembered Nancy's sentence. Hereditary schizophrenia. Trinh Nguyen also suffered schizophrenia, but she never treated. I smiled lightly. If facing madman, then only way speak like madman. I continued pretending obedient, coerced by her, and submitted. Aftermath asterisk. Narrator, Trinh Lam sacrificed. That summer in Myanmar, sky poured heavy rain, thunder, lightning boomed. Day she left, rain even more torrential. She lay there, hand still hugging tight small slope where had boat flower. Her face pale like paper washed by rain, flowing north, towards her hometown. Her hometown, Beijing, place having people daily looking at sky, waiting, red flag, 5 stars flying. In her heart, still hugging national flag. Police found her. Female police knelt down, patting gently her face. Woman, police, Trinh Lam. Narrator, she didn't open eyes. Female police called one more time. Woman, police, Trinh Lam. Narrator, she still didn't answer. Female police choked, tears fell full face. She was too thin, almost skin covering bone. Female police used hand covering mouth, but finally couldn't suppress crying out. She carefully took national flag from Trinh Lam's arms, wrapping around cold, stiff body, adjusting each messy hair strand. Woman, police, we will take you home. Your mission completed, Trinh Lam. We will take you home. Narrator, female police cried voiceless. Afterward, around only left choking sobs. June 26, 2019, Trinh Lam's death officially confirmed. She lived 28 years. She buried in Kunming, land 4 seasons like spring. She will forever lie beside comrades also used to devote protecting fatherland, dedicating silently. She won't be lonely anymore. Police protected her family, deleted all info about her identity. She only left code number 0, but name Trinh Lam will forever be engraved in hearts of people used to go through all with her. Hứa Tình ending asterisk. Narrator, 50 years later, in criminal investigation lecture hall, white-haired professor stood on podium telling about best spies of last century. When he spoke to code number 0, screen projected image of Tam Chowgon's real diary. Man, diary voice, chapter 325. Today is 60th day I infiltrated trafficking organization. Besides me, I still have a teammate. She used to suffer multiple personality disorder, psychology unstable, but after treated by Lily, she betrayed police and completely stood on organization side. She is daughter of transnational organ trafficking boss Trinton. Her name is Trinh Lam. Today is 20th day she acts as mole. Chapter 340, Internal Trafficking Organization Happened Fierce Dispute. Nam Cie Nan Cie, Fighting for Market with Trinton Couple. I know I might die, so took bullet for Nam Cie, but I can't reveal police identity. Otherwise Trinh Lam will replace me. Finish this mission. I will lock my diary in bank safe. Let bank transfer it to police. Please trust that Trinh Lam not simply perfect plan, but she also deceived police. Narrator. Diary sent to police exactly 1 year after Trinh Lam's death. This document stored at Swiss bank under name customer Lily. At this time, police officers completely shocked. They immediately compared Trinh Lam's handwriting with Tam Chowgon. Their handwriting exactly same. Turns out diary and trafficking camp only half truth. Trinh Lam simulated Tam Chowgon's handwriting, forged part content distracting Nam Cie. Whole police meeting room fell into silence. Along with diary also had video recording. In video, police stood in line performing oath ritual. Beside them exactly Trinh Lam and Tam Chowgon. Man, Tam Chowgon comrade Trinh Lam, read your oath. Narrator. Trinh Lam raised head high, face resolute, eyes not wavering at all. She placed hand on temple, every word resounding. Woman, Trinh Lam, I will forever be loyal to fatherland. I will protect people with all I have. I will dedicate myself to this land. I won't retreat, I won't hesitate. Narrator. In Tam Chowgon's eyes, tears rolled down. He said softly, Man, Tam Chowgon, I hope you will forever be here, Trinh Lam. Narrator. 2 last monologues in Trinh Lam's recording. She sat on chair, calm and gentle. She looked into lens, smiling very sweet. Woman, Trinh Lam. First segment. I met Tam Chowgon year I 20 years old. I suffered hereditary schizophrenia. My first personality is Trinh Lam, my second personality is Lily. Lily is stronger doctor, also understands trafficking organization better. After becoming spy, Lily tried self-treatment, turning self into first personality. Lily is personality Trinh Nguyen loves. She always let Tam Chowgon assess treatment effect, but Tam Chowgon never wrote method in diary. Woman, Trinh Lam's second segment. Tam Chowgon's death stimulated me. I also infected unknown virus, my lungs only left half. Estimated lifespan less than 50 years, so I decided execute my final plan. I requested police hide Tam Chowgon's exact death time. All contact info sent to intelligence center edited by me, including proposal using spies Man Hao and Hua Tin as bait, making Trinh Lam, i.e. me, infiltrate trafficking camp. When I became Trinh Lam, I ceased finding chance impersonating Man Hao and Hua Tin, making them believe I was their teammate. If you are watching this tape means police accepted my plan. Same time I used name Lily contacting Nam Cie, giving him fake diary of Tam Chowgon. Hope my plan succeeds. Narrator. Finished speaking. Hua Tin's tears fell like rain. She said in choking. Woman, Hua Tin, that year she told me run. I ran forever, ran very fast. I wanted become first survivor. I didn't dare turn head look at her. Until I returned, she lay there closing eyes, no longer moving. She was my sister, yet finally I abandoned her. Narrator. Below podium investigation, student looked at old professor asking. Man, student person with code number 0 twice acted as mole. Second time she hid all secrets. Did she really not reveal anything, sir professor? Narrator. Hua Tin nodded. Eyes suddenly became blurry. In moments she seemed seeing figure of girl years ago.